testing, testing. Well. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Day 127. 127. I'm here, as always. Oh, well, no, not always. I didn't stream yesterday, so I apologize. Hello, L Thing. Thank you for spamming the gorilla emote. Man, you freaked me out when you sent that, because I was like, oh, is something wrong? Am I sharing the wrong screen? But welcome, L Thing. Is Nala there? She is here, but she's just running around. I'm sure, will calm down and come over. But oh, that's me saying that. I'm setting up a LAN party. What? I'm good setting up for a LAN party. I haven't heard those words in decades. That's taking me back to my Halo. Was it Halo the original, or Halo 2 or Halo 3, when we would have those LAN parties to multiplayer and all that fun stuff. Either way, it sounds fun, I think. I mean, it's a party, right? So enjoy. Give me a second. Let me just double check. Is everything okay? Okay, so the music is maybe just slightly too loud, yeah? I should just like mark whatever the right volume percentage is. Mustafa says hello from the Kick side. Thank you very much for watching on Kick. Yeah, listen, I'm trying to grow all three channels, right? All three platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Kick, also TikTok. I'm going to stream on there later probably. So wherever you're watching me, I thank you for it. I salute you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Today is Wednesday. It's already Wednesday. My goodness. Oh yeah, where are my cats? Okay, so Nala and Kimbap are out. Oh, you can see Nala. There she is. She perked up because I said her name. So here she is, just chilling on the floor as we speak, wandering around. And then we've got, I mean, this is a little cat light that I've bought. Usually I just placed it way on the top there just as an extra bit of light. Hey, Kimbap. I see you, buddy. You little sneaky. Give me a second, guys. I need to feed my cats a bit more, apparently. 1 second. Okay. I was feeding extra food to Kimbap because I feel bad. I accidentally clipped part of his nail, the part that you're not supposed to cut, where, you know, they can start bleeding. So he had a tiny little drop of blood there, and he yelped when I trimmed his nail. So bad parenting on my part. I you know, sometimes you miss the mark. So I'm feeding him extra today, making him feel better. And then Nala's just being Nala, you know, just the usual. What's happening? Nothing today from her. Good girl. All right. Anyways, so that's enough of that. We're ready to stream today. So today is going to be another, I don't know, probably a fairly chill, let's get some work done type of a stream. So I got a few things set up. What else should I? Oh, there was some interesting things that have happened recently. What to talk about first? I had some good meetings the other day and today as well. All positive stuff, in my opinion. Well, there are some interesting projects that I might be able to participate in, be a part of, and hopefully I do a good job. And you know, if it all comes together, we're going to keep doing awesome filmmaking types of stuff in the future, especially with the travel. So I had a good few conversations there. I have a few more to go. there's a lot of things I have to do off stream. So generally speaking, we're going to keep today's stream probably the same as before, where I want to try to end it by 9 p.m. or something. That means like about 2 to 3 hours from now. So hopefully you guys will hang out with me until then. And then I just got to catch up on all this other stuff. But other things that have happened, and let me test it out. I think I created a little command for it. I think it's command BTL. Let's see if it works. Perfect, it works. We got Fedorevsky in the chat saying howdy. Howdy back at ya, Fed. Good job on your latest video, man. Wait, the video that you just, the one that you posted the other day, that's the one that you went and filmed all within, and like edited basically within a weekend. Is that right? And that's like your typical speed, which is impressive. But either way, I enjoyed it as usual. Amazing sound effects. I love the, man, you've definitely mastered this whole dark, low light shadow kind of filming with the ZR. So, yeah. All right, my cats are going crazy still. But I did put something in the chat. So this should take you to my latest video on YouTube, which is the Behind the Lens series, episode 1. It's really kind of like episode 0 because it's more just me explaining what these episodes will be about, but you'll get a flavor of it through that as well. So I do hope you guys check it out. I've been working to film and record a bunch of other episodes, and I'm actually pretty excited with hopefully the quality of it in the way that you guys will engage, find it enjoyable to watch. Again, shout out to my editor who I'm working with currently, and he just knows how to make it feel that much more punchy and all that kind of stuff. But then also the actual material, the things that I'm talking through, I'm starting with a lot of more quote unquote insightful things that I might have to share with you guys. So kind of going back in time, a little bit of storytelling of just my journey to being a photographer and all that kind of stuff, but then also some of the learnings that I've had from the process. So I've been filming a few of those episodes, and so yeah, hopefully every week you should be seeing a new episode coming through. That's the current game plan. So I'm working a lot behind the scenes to get that one ready to go, because it's looking more and more likely that in the month of March I may be traveling for literally like the entirety of March, and then in April I have another 1, maybe 2 trips as well if everything works out. So yeah, I'll be a little bit out of pocket here and there. So trying to prep up, get all the content done. And I want to see, hopefully I can do some IRL live streaming for you guys once I travel to some of these countries. So Fed, you said we filmed it on Friday evening and it was really done on Saturday, but then there were some issues. Yeah, I remember you mentioned some kind of banding or you said YouTube compression I had to iron out. Gotcha. Good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing it with us. All right, what else is there to cover in terms of just quick updates? I made a few purchases. So as normal in my world, a lot of money going out one way and not coming in. But you know, it's all part of the dream that we're building out. So I did purchase, I forget who, I think it was Swiss Army Cinema. It might have been someone else that also suggested this, but I went ahead and purchased, let me see if I can switch scenes here. First, let's okay, I think it's fine. What did I purchase? I bought the Cotton Carrier CCS G3. So I went ahead and purchased this thing that we were looking at the other day. So shout out to whoever, I know Swiss Army, and then I thought someone else mentioned they were using this. So yeah, I've gone ahead and purchased it. So fingers crossed, but it looks like I'll have a few trips where I'll definitely be needing this, where I'll be doing a little bit of like jungle trekking, yeah, like forest jungle types of treks where this could come super in handy. Oh, and then I forgot to purchase the thing we saw earlier. I think it was like an accessory to this. Hold on a second. Because then this got brought up as a vest that I could use, assuming if the dog sledding expedition pans out. The thought was like maybe I can strap it to my chest on like a little pole to get some stable footage that way. So let me see. I thought, what was it? It was on B&H photo, right? I think it's like an accessory to this guy. Let's find this. Cotton carrier CCS G3, and I thought we saw it on B&H. Okay, but there was something different. It was a version where I hope I didn't write. Well, it looks like this is going to be a good purchase, like something I'll be using quite a bit regardless. But I thought I had seen something I totally forgot about. A cotton carrier. There's a version of this where something protrudes out from the chest such that you can like hook up a camera there, and it's a little bit... Oh, here we go. Cotton carrier steady shot with camera vest. Okay, so... Oh my god, it's $400. Because basically what I need is, I don't need the vest, because we've gone ahead and purchased a vest. It was more like, would I find value in this little thingamabob that sticks out? So then if I'm like this dude, can I zoom in on this? Yeah, so if I pretend to be this guy here, and let's say I'm on the dog sled, right? Then I need my hands to be, you know, actually driving the sled. And then ideally, you know, I wouldn't be using a 400mm lens or whatever, something massive. It would just be like probably like a 35mm or my 20mm, something like that. I would hook it up to the ZR onto the stand here. And that way I can look forward, I can slightly look down, see the camera view, but my hands are free to do all the dog sledding stuff. So this is an option. But that's kind of expensive. So the other option we had was I need to purchase the... oh shoot, did I delete it all? Dang it. Noga arm. This is one of them that was mentioned. And then, oh, I forgot the name of the clamp. But there's some kind of... Oh, there it is. It was in my little search bar thing. Clamp. No, it wasn't there. Dang it. Super clamp? Super clamp. So then the other thought is I get one of these types of heavy clamps, attach it to the railing of the sled dog, and then from there have something like this Noga arm connecting to the camera, lock it into place. So then it should just be fixed to the motion of the sled and all the stuff like that. And then that way it's hands-free and I just do my thing. So that's another thought. I'm also jumping the gun. I haven't solidified the trip yet, so it's still TBD. I was having a good chat with one of the individuals who runs his sled dog company, or like the tours for that. And it seems like there should be a potential opportunity. It's just locking down the pricing. So I just needed some clarification that everything makes sense for pricing. And if so, then let's rock this. Let's go forward. If not, you know, what can you do? It's very last minute. But March is looking kind of fun. It's going to be a fun month for me of travel, it seems. So... but all of it is in the name of trying to figure out how to be a better live streamer. You're going to join me, okay? You guys will all follow me as we're traveling around the world. But first, I need all the tech. So I need all the tech gear. I need some of these things. I did have... I reached out to a company who gave me a quote for the complete assembly of the flight case that I need. So let's say like Rodecaster video... So this is one of the companies that have like a custom-made case for the Rodecaster. I think we might have gone through this on stream before, but it was like, oh shoot, okay. it looks like it does almost everything I need it to do, just maybe some minor tweaks. You know, it's got one of the ventilation cutouts. I think I would need two, one for like intake and with a filter, and then one for like the out. Do you call it outtake? I don't know. But it's got all these like outer ports, and it fits the Rodecaster. There's a few things here where it's like not ideal. Guys, come on. Keep up. Good boy. Like there's a bit of dead space here where ideally there would be more of a recessed, what do you call it? Like a little recessed indent. And then that way I could put like maybe a power bank or some like a portable SSD and have it be able to hook up to the Rodecaster. The monitor, I don't need such a large monitor because the case will be closed while I'm streaming. So I think there's a few things like that where I was like, oh, okay. And then the other thing was the price. You know, this thing is close to, I don't know the conversion, but I'm assuming it's like $1,500. And it'll take 10 to 22 business days to be delivered. So chances are it might be ready. Even if I pay this amount, plus shipping, it might not even arrive in time for when I would try to test it in March. But it does most of what I need. Not all, but most. Like I should be able to pilot with something like this as well. Anyways, so there's a company I reached out to locally who does 3D printing and all that. I sent all the specs, and so they've come back to me. Current pricing is a bit more expensive, way more expensive than I thought, but hopefully we can work out something, and then I should be able to get a case for streaming. So then this will be check, then the cameras check and lenses, then TBD, but hopefully I can secure a partnership with some safari lodges. So semi-check, it's not really there yet. And I need to figure out this whole streaming encoding stuff. So shout out to Cyronius, who's been helping me out behind the scenes and also during stream with like potentially some kind of Bella box concept. Or I'm hoping I can hear back from some of my contacts who might know someone who works with TVU, and maybe they can give me some kind of discounted price for a kit. Those things are super expensive. TVU Pro, no, Solo, was it TVU Solo something? Let me see. TVU Solo live streaming encoder. I think this is the one. Hello, Low Bass. Low Bass is here saying, how is I? I is good, my friend. Happy Wednesday. Oh, and right on cue. It looks like it took Low Bass being here, but my cats have also gone to their destination, their little home. So my cats say hi as well. Let me adjust this focus point real quick. There we go. And then how's the other one? Yes, we got the Kimbap wave and the Nala wave. Look at Kimbap over there. Like I said, I feel I've been showering Kimbap with a bit more love today because I accidentally trimmed his nail too deep. So there's like a little drop of blood that was there and he yelped. And I was like, oh no. But so I'm monitoring him, just making sure there's nothing that goes bad. But yeah. Look at this guy. Low Bass, how's it going, man? How's your Wednesday? Hopefully, I'm assuming you have just gone to work, if I understand correctly. Yo, what's up? Ayo Vero. Ayo Savero. Ayo X Avero. Ayo Avero. Been a while I've been here. Thank you very much for being here with us. And on the Twitch side. My goal is to constantly build out that Twitch platform, that Twitch streaming. So all of you guys being there, it's a big deal. So thank you very much. We are currently streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I haven't done anything yet today. I'm just doing a little bit of recap of what I've been up to the past couple days. I had some pretty good meetings, important meetings for the future of Yobel Prize and exciting adventures that we can go on. So I'm trying my best to be more professional as a filmmaker, live streamer, YouTuber, all the ers. So hopefully you guys will be excited and proud of me soon when you see the stuff that I'll be a part of. Fingers crossed. Low Basis finally got the settlement check for my car accident. And once all my bills are paid, I may actually have enough for a new camera, at least for a significant portion of one. So I decided to pull the trigger and get an R5 Mark too. R5, remind me, that's Canon, right? Canon R5. Yeah, that sounds right. Well, sorry to hear about the car accident, but I guess maybe not sorry because you're getting some money out of it. So sorry, not sorry, and congrats in some ways, I guess. Obviously, it sounds like you went through quite the ordeal. I can also imagine that must have taken months and months to actually go through the system to get your money. So yeah, nothing can bring back all that time wasted on the thing, but hopefully the money will help, or at least part of a camera. What does that translate to? I don't know my Chinese anymore. 9 months. Damn. Hey, actually 9 months. That's how long it took for me as well. Yo, quick story time. I think I told this on stream before. So super condensed version. I got evicted from my my apartment that I'd been living in Dubai for 3-4 years. Like basically since I moved to Dubai, it's the same apartment I've continued to stay at. And I don't like to move and stuff like that. I like building out my space. But then the Russia-Ukraine war started. A lot of people were escaping and moving to Dubai, including apparently, this is the stereotype, apparently there's a lot of rich Russians that moved to Dubai, and basically they just like paid with cash. They just like showed up with all their money and said, let me buy this apartment, or let me buy this house, or I can rent out, blah, blah, blah. So then for a bit of time there, the housing market just skyrocketed in Dubai. Plus, we were coming off the tail end of COVID, so things were improving, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of the apartments and the rentals and everything, it went up like by 30 to 50% sometimes in pricing. So my dastardly landlord, who I've never met in person. He has a liaison. I think he lives in Iran, maybe. Anyways, this dude sends me a message being like, hey, I want to raise your rates by 30. Basically, he tried to jack it up by like 35%. And I was like, hey, few things. One, you're too late, right? There's a period of time when you can reach out to a tenant to increase the rate. You're off the mark. It's already too late. Two, there's a certain amount you're allowed to raise the rate by, and you're asking for way too much. That's not allowed. And then three, there's a calculating index thing in Dubai where you can plug in your apartment or whatever, and you can get a sense of like if your unit qualifies to be allowed to be raised up in terms of pricing, or if there's 0% that you're not allowed to increase the rate. And my apartment was showing there should be 0% raise in the price. So I tell this guy, I'm like, hey, for all these reasons, we can't do that. And then, but then I was like, hey, obviously I'm happy to work with you because I've been here for a long time to see what's a reasonable increase. And the next thing I know, I come back home from work one day and there's a nice little, notarized piece of paper taped to my door. It's an eviction notice. And this mother basically said, hey, we're renovating the place. I'm trying to sell this apartment. Therefore, I'm allowed to kick you out. Once you receive this eviction notice, you have basically 1 year to stay in that apartment for the same rate, and then get your ass out of there. Which was super annoying because I didn't know anything about the system. I didn't know anything about what I have to do. So low base, I commiserate with you if that's the right terminology here. But I went through months and months of having to go back and forth to all these different government offices, trying to figure out what the hell, what can I make use of? Like, is this allowed even? What remedies are in front of me that I can pursue? And what do I have to make sure to do to protect myself in some circumstance? You said, how the heck did that happen? I was using voice to text and it just posted in that language. Hey, listen, man, it's your chatbot. I have a bit of a dilemma. You said unit qualified to be raised up, and there's so many jokes that I could not decide on one, so I will maintain a silent snicker. Well, sometimes you just blast with a bunch of things to the point where they can't respond at all. So that was my strategy, apparently. But yeah, point is, I said I was going to do a short story. I'm giving the long version. He kicked me out, so I stayed there for a year, kicked me out. I had to find a new place. I ultimately found a place, but for much higher rent. And I had a bunch of my friends who still lived in that apartment building, the complex. So I had them be on the lookout for if my little sneaky former landlord is lying to me, which I was like 99.9% sure that he wasn't trying to renovate and sell the spot. He just, right before evicting me, he was trying to raise the rent, right? So clearly he wanted me to stay there. He just wanted to exploit and get me to pay more. So I had them kind of monitor for me through my sneaky ways to see if maybe someone ends up renting out that apartment shortly after I leave. And that literally happened. Like within maybe 1 month or so, someone apparently was in the apartment I used to live in. And I did all this research online and I saw my exact freaking units on the, like, it's like the equivalent of Craigslist or whatever, like these property finders where you rent out apartments or you can sell it or whatever. And I found my unit online. So I was assuming he reached out to some brokers and they were trying to rent out my spot. And it wasn't that simple. Even then, I had to spend months or at least weeks trying to go back and forth to get 100% proof that he didn't just somehow sell the unit and there's a new owner who's now renting it, right? Because I'm not about to dish out thousands of dollars or whatever it is to get a lawyer only to find out you know what? That's that 1% chance of that happening is what happened. So I was super paranoid, but I finally got the definitive proof. I won't say how, but I got the proof, okay? So then I took his ass to court, and just like you, Low Base, it took me 9 months. Literally, I think, yeah, because in my mind, I remember thinking, like, this is the amount of time it takes to have a baby, right? And it's like, I basically have been building this baby up for 9 months, and I finally got to deliver it, essentially. That's not a good analogy. But I took his ass to court, won, and then he went through the appeal process. He tried to lower the amount that initially was awarded to me, but ultimately I still ended up with a year and a half's worth of rent, essentially. Like, not exactly, but so I walked away with it, in a sense, more than I started with, but also in a sense, not really, because I would have still preferred never being evicted, because then I could have continued staying in the same unit, in the same neighborhood that I really loved, and just dealt with whatever price rates of my unit as is allowable. But instead, because I got kicked out, I had to ultimately move out of that neighborhood just in terms of like trying to find the right rent prices. So yeah, that was my story. Freaking landlords, man. They're out to get you. But yeah, the legal system is not fun to go through, but it worked out. Dubai they do a lot of tenant rights, which I'm not complaining about, and it worked out in my favor eventually. So thank you for listening to my story. Let's get back to what I was supposed to be doing, which is streaming. So this thing is the LiveView Solo Pro. This was one of the other options that I might consider for the IRL live streaming. The issue is some of the places, or maybe most of the places that I'm considering going to for the live streaming, it's not going to be places with clean or strong or even any cell connection, in which case this kind of becomes a really expensive piece of thing that isn't being utilized properly. However, within this thing, apparently it's got this encoding capability, and it has a bonding capability. So I could hook up, let's say, a Starlink to this thing here, and then hook this up to my video audio switcher, and then ultimately this all gets relayed out into the internet to allow me to stream my footage. So this is for me to consider. The biggest issue, though, is that these things are not cheap. There's LiveView and then there's TVU. And if I remember correctly, I think TVU is like way more expensive. So of all the options, I feel like LiveView is the one I should consider. Let's see. How much does a LiveView Solo, what's it called? Solo Pro. LiveView Solo Pro. LiveView Solo Pro cost. Typically cost between $2,000 to $2,600 just for the unit. Additional costs include the bonding service, which is about $450 a year, and then the cell modem kits, which are another $5,000 to $1,000. So the point is, this is not cheap. But if I do end up purchasing this. Obviously, it means I don't have, it's like, it removes all the headache of trying to figure out how to be a streamer, like when I travel. But like I said, we have someone in the community, Cyronius, who was telling me about, instead of spending all this money on that, why not spend a fraction of the cost to use like a Bella Box encoder and some other, like a Raspberry Pi, something. So fingers crossed, guys, that I don't have to spend that kind of money. Before I start doing a bit of video editing, I wanted to double check because, of course, we have this legendary streamer, IShowSpeed, and YouTuber and all that stuff, right? And he's been doing a lot of what I'm hoping to do, right? But I mean, he does it obviously a million times better and it's more fleshed out. But there's a niche, or there's a segment of what he does, which is like global IRL streaming, right? Traveling all around the world and touring countries and, you know, activities, events, cultures, and sharing it. And I think it's amazing. That's the kind of thing that I think is the right type of content creators that we need more of, and I hope to aspire to be, I guess. But he's traveled to a few locations that I'm also considering for what I do, which is wildlife photography. So here's one of those examples, and I want to just kind of double click on this so I can get a bit more inspiration or ideas of what works, what doesn't. So this was in Masai Mara in Kenya. So given that it's in Kenya, that should mean that he was probably using a Starlink as his way to create the network connection. So he was probably on a satellite network and then using that to help with the streaming. Ayo says WSG Yobel. What is WSG? Is this like a what's good? Man, I'm dating myself here. I'm in my early 30s, okay? Almost mid 30s. What does WSG mean? What's good? I was right. Wait, is that right? WSG is internet slang for what's good, for what's up. Okay. Nice. For example, what's good, brah? How do you respond to WSG if you want to sound like a Gen Z? Casual and typical responses. Not much. What about you? But you do it all in this way? Okay. Well, this one's not really a Gen Z thing. This is, I think sometimes Gen Z is stealing from us millennials. We used to do this all the time. Just vibing. Same old. What's up, the sky? That's not a Gen Z thing either. That's a dad joke. Bruh. I do feel like Gen Z and younger keep doing this all the time to me. So I'll say bruh. I'm a Gen Alpha. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just saw someone's video breaking down here, let me just get this ready to go so I'll feel like I'm working. I saw someone's video that broke down this, how much it hits how old we are now. So if you are like me in your 30s, part of the millennial class, or older, whatever. But for me, when I was growing up, when I was a child in elementary school and all that, we would always hear the 80s music and think like, oh, that's like that old school stuff, right? And this guy's video was saying like, you know what the new Gen Alphas think of when they hear music like Fetty Wap? When they hear Fetty Wap, that's like the equivalent of 80s music for us. And that hit really hard because I was like, what the heck? So the new Gen Alpha generation, when they hear Fetty Wap playing, you know, on the radio, you guys, do you guys even listen to radio anymore? When you're listening to Fetty Wap on Spotify, you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's what those like old timers used to listen to, like in the 80s kind of a concept. I'm like, oh my God, that hit hard. It's a bit depressing. I want to know what the translator thought that was though. Yeah. Whenever I try to program an AI to speak like Gen Z, it doesn't speak like Gen Z. It sounds more like an undercover cop trying to sound like Gen Z. Yeah, you can't. It's like that one meme of, what's that one actor with a skateboard and he's pretending to look young? Ayo says, you're at the early 30s, right? I'm like half your age. Man, enjoy your blessings, okay? Enjoy having a body that doesn't break down just from stretching too hard or yawning too hard or sleeping a little too long. Enjoy, okay? Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Steve Buscemi, yes, thank you, that guy. Does car radio count? Yeah, it does. It does. But my generation, we had radio in our bedrooms, right? You had like a literal boombox stereo thing that you'd have to turn a dial and find the right, tune it to the right FM or AM radio station. Or we had CD players. And I was just, I'm not that old, but like I was of the generation where we still got the tail end of people giving us floppy disks. Was that right? Yeah, like hold on a second. Was it a floppy disk? Disk or disc? No. I'm thinking not floppy disk. Disc tapes? Yeah, okay. This is what I'm talking about. Because remember, like a family friend, he made a mixtape. That's what it was called, mixtapes. Oh my god. Mixtape. Not a video. Just give me the image. Yeah. I was the tail end of the mixtape generation, I guess, where you would, I guess, mix a bunch of songs, and I still remember it was Limp Bizkit. I had a mixtape of Limp Bizkit songs, and it was glorious. And you can only play it in the car because I don't think we had it at home. So you insert it into the cars that had the little freaking, insert for that. My goodness. Ayo says, I have like an MP4 player that I haven't used. No. I was a mixtape generation, and I was one of the select few that had the Rune. Was it called Rune? MP3 player? Zune, my bad. Zune. How could I forget? While everyone else had their iPod Nanos and stuff like that, I had a Zune for the longest time. And to this day, I thought Zune was amazing. I wish it won the war, the music war. This is my generation. Lobe says, I remember when they put computers and the internet into my school. Oh yeah, we had the library. You basically went to the library, and that was the only place you can find these computers. And you had to write your essays and print it out from there and all that stuff. Most of the musics are old classics and old Christian songs. I even had, oh my god, thank you for reminding me. I used to have these CD of top Christian music. This was like a big thing. I think it was called Now Music? Christian, or is it Wow Music? It says Wow there. Now Music? Okay, maybe it was Wow. Christian Wow Music CD. Oh yeah, because it says the 2000s and the 90s. Yeah, this is what because I grew up in a very religious household, but we would have all of these Wow CDs of like the greatest hits of Christian rock bands out there and stuff like that. Oh man, takes me back. But most of them are like Korean, Japanese songs for romance, I think. Okay, man. Well, listen, Ayo, thank you very much for being a part of this community. It is kind of cool when Gen Alphas and the younger generation who are more hip with what's cool these days, decides to enjoy my stream. So then it makes me feel by proxy a little bit more cool and hipster. So I accept. So don't leave. Tell all your friends to also join. Lobe says RIP to Napster and LimeWire. Kids today will never know the joy of giving their computer aids to get a free song. I do remember those days. What did I have? I didn't use Napster. I think we had LimeWire, Kazam, Kazoo, Shazam. Kazam? No. Kazakhstan. What am I thinking of? There's like some kind of what is the software people used back in the 2000s to download things illegally? Was it Kazam or something with a K? There's LimeWire, yeah. Kazaa. Which was, okay, so the software we think of is Kazaa, which was one of the most popular peer-to-peer file sharing applications in the early 2000s, frequently used to download music, video, and software. It emerged following the shutdown of Napster in 2001. Okay. It was notorious for copyright infringement, malware, and adware, which led to numerous lawsuits against its operators, Charmin Networks. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I ever got. I must have gotten some viruses in the past, but I don't remember these days. I remember having the panicked feeling that I downloaded a virus, so then I would like immediately shut down the computer, and then I would what did I do? Oh yeah, I would shut down the computer, and then you would open up the PC in the recovery mode, and then I would have it rewind and basically pick up like one of its backups from a day ago or something like that. I think I remember going through that process a few times. I remember the panic of that for sure. Ao says it's all from the uncle before he passed away. Oh, my condolences. Sorry to hear about the uncle. But that's cool. So he you know, as your memory of your uncle now is from these treasured music CDs and stuff, which you should definitely treasure. That is a thing of the past now, right? It's the way that my generation looked at the older generation with the what are those big discs? Oh my god, I don't know anything. You guys know vinyl records. That's what I'm thinking of. Vinyl records. Yeah, it's the way I look at the older generation, and I'm like, wow, they used to listen to music with this. And I guess for your generation, you're like, wow, those millennials used to listen with CDs and floppy disks. So laser discs. Wait, is that a thing? I've never heard that. Hello, Rachel. Rachel says, hey, everyone. Thanks for enjoying the stream over on the YouTube side. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So thank you wherever you're watching. Laser disc. I was supposed to be doing some wildlife and travel video editing, but I'm being a little bit distracted. Laser disc. What the heck is this? It's like the Frisbee version of a CD, or is that just optical illusion? No, this thing looks massive. Why? Okay, so this was like a version of a vinyl record, but so this is a vinyl record. Sorry, it's a CD that wants to be a record. Okay. Wow. Oh, these are the days. Low bass says, I thought we were talking about video. Yes, vinyl for audio. Oh, this was for video. Oh, I didn't know. Listen, that's how little I know about this. I did have the VHS though. We had a collection of VHS tapes, and then we had that little machine that you stick the VHS in, you close it, and then it'll rewind the tape all the way to the beginning. I've just realized you are all children, and now I'm sad. Low bass. See, it's all about passing the baton, you know? You go from one generation to the next. So I finally feel like the person in the middle that can both be young and old at the same time, and it's a mixed feeling for sure. We had educational videos on Laserdisc when I was in school. The reason why I listened to some more old relics is because it's most of the songs today kind of flop. Translation: when the subject goes down, doesn't sound. Oh, is that the translation thing? Okay. Reason why I listened to some more old relics is because most of the songs today kind of flop. You know what? I do agree with that. Not that I listen to new music these days. I don't listen to any music these days. The music that I listen to are like music like this. Right? What would you call this? I listen to copyright-free music or licensed music for the intent of using in my YouTube videos. So it's not the same type of quality or expectation as listening to pop music or whatever is playing on the radio or Spotify. But, you know, it is music still, so I can't fully say I'm not listening. But it's been it's been so long that I've actually paid attention to music to the point where I canceled my Spotify subscription, and I used to be a Spotify premium user. I spent so much time building out my own playlist that, you know, in my world, I was very proud that I had I think 200 people who followed my playlist, and I would update it every week with whatever the latest music I'm hearing. And one was called Coffee Shop Brew List. Another one was I had so many different playlists, okay? But not anymore. But I do think there is a little bit of truth to, I think the quality of music back then was probably better than what I think of the quality now. And I say it hesitantly because I feel like every generation probably says something similar. So there's a little bit of bias probably baked in. But I do feel that, music back then felt more like well, one, you didn't have as much, right? So over time, I imagine it gets more and more saturated with certain types of songs. So it's like you're basically having to repeat whatever already worked. Actually, I don't know. There's probably an argument for and against. Ayo says, I don't want to say this, but funk, especially funk, is too repetitive / overrated. I don't even know what funk, Phonk is. But, you know, there's a time when people thought, like, you know, EDM is too redundant, right? But you know, at the same time, it's a freaking, EDM is its own thing, right? It slaps. It transports you. So in some ways, like, it might sound all the same, but when it hits, it hits. So I don't know. I do miss like music where lyrics were more important, and I do feel like that was more of a thing in the past, where there'd be more storytelling, right? So even like, what is it considered, the 80s, or when is what era is like the Eagles? My God, I don't know anything anymore. What era is Eagles music? The Eagles music defines the 1970s American rock. Okay. Or like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. When is that? When was Red Hot Chili Peppers? Chili Peppers. This was 1980s. Okay. Point is, like the 70s, 80s, 90s, I felt like there's a lot more songs where it was storytelling. Like it could be like 5 minutes long or longer. And you actually had to pay attention to the lyrics because it's taking you from one beat to the next. Whereas, I don't know, sometimes I feel most of what you hear in the radio these days are just like fluff. You know, it's the same kind of messaging or whatever. It's like kind of like country music, you know? I think country music, I am very impressed by the singers, because I feel like as a genre, if you're a good country singer, you have probably a really amazing voice. It feels like they prioritize someone who can actually sing and play instruments, whereas you can sometimes auto-tune much easier in other genres. But I feel like the context of a lot of country music, it's about the same thing. Funk is basically some old songs that were brought back this year. Slaps a shit ton of cowbells. Ooh, I love me some cowbells. You know, back to Will Ferrell. Funk, on the other hand, is the thing new gens hear when you would usually hear some people mixing some famous reference or Brazilian lyrics that literally has a dark meaning and it's just overrated. Okay. Well, thank you for educating me. I'm so out of the loop. I've never heard a single Bad Bunny song until, the Super Bowl. I caught a bit of that on the Super Bowl. I didn't even know who Bad Bunny was. I didn't know he's like one of the top musicians of the world. I think like the #1 streamed channel. I don't know. I was like, what? So yeah, like I'm so out of the loop. I know there's some girl named Sabrina Carpenter that would occasionally go viral on social media. I don't know anything about her. Or what's Chappelle Roan? Is that her name? Chappelle Roan? Yeah, American singer-songwriter. I don't know any of these people, man. So I'm out of date. It is what it is. Christopher Walken. I'm walking here. So anyways, thank you for entertaining me as I was kind of going back through my music knowledge. This is all I got. My favorite musicians are people like, I really liked Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, I used to love his music a lot. Then you had John Mayer, John Mayer, legendary, I would say. My era, people really liked Coldplay. To be honest with you, I wasn't, like, I liked their songs, but I never felt the same way that a lot of my friends were super into Coldplay. They would religiously talk about all the albums. They would talk religiously about Kanye West as well. They were huge fans of Kanye West. I was always like an Eminem guy more than the others. And honestly, I didn't really like Kanye West's songs. So there is that. I do remember the Gold Digger song would always play, but I was just like, it is what it is. Who else? Kanye West, Coldplay. Oh, the Killers. The Killers was big. This was a big band. What's the band with Jack Black? Lobe says, no, you child. Christopher Walken was the cowbell guy. What? What are you talking about? Wait, no, I'm talking about that SNL skit. Wasn't Will Ferrell the cow? No. My memory, I'm positive this is Will Ferrell cowbell. Wasn't he the oh wait, you're saying hashtag Christopher Walken. Oh, what am I missing here? Was he not the cowbell guy? What's going on? What's happening? So I get that both of them were in it, but how do I play the freaking thing? Will Ferrell cowbell. Lobe says, I didn't think I was that old. Now I feel 1,000. $1,000 is what you mean, right? Funk existed back like in the 2023, I think, while funk existed back in 2019. Oh my god. Now, well, I mean, I feel old too now because I didn't know there was a new genre of music called, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right, funk, because I really hate saying that word. You might as well just say funk, but now you have to say funk. Funk. Tenacious D, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. Tenacious D, thank you, Low Bass and Rachel. Yeah, man, that was another band that we used to just like religiously know every single word to the song. Or Queen, Queen. Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody for sure. That was big for my generation. What's the one like We Don't Need No Education? We Don't Need No Education. Which band is this? Another Brick in the Wall. Yeah, there it is. Pink Floyd. Okay, Pink Floyd. Or I used to love songs like this one, My Girl. Who was the band? It was like September or My Girl song. Temptations? The Temptations, yeah. I enjoyed listening to the Temptations. What was that Pina Colada song? Rupert Holmes. Yeah. So Ayo, I don't know if you've listened to all these types of songs, but hopefully some of this might sound new to you. But these were the songs that I guess my generation, these were like the hits or the ones that people were always humming or singing along to. Christopher Walken was the cowbell guy in the SNL skit. Oh my god, my memory is so bad. I basically rewarped the memory to think that Will Ferrell was slapping a cowbell. He's the one demanding more cowbell. The fictional producer Bruce Dickinson. Wait, is Will Ferrell even in this? Hold on, I'm questioning reality now. Ayo says, but so on then I got bored, got addicted to music, especially Christian music, so I then decided to become a bassist to serve in my church. Well, good on you, man. Looks like you're giving back to the community, so I think that's really good what you do. My brother, he was super into the what do you call it, like the youth service. Like he would play piano and sing for like the youth service, and that's how he met his wife, you know, my sister-in-law, and now they have 2 kids and a third's on the way. So who knows, Ayo, you're a little too young to get married, but you might find the one there, a Christian good girl or whatever. Okay, I wanted to see this freaking thing and test my memory. I'm assuming I'm going to get copyright struck, but okay. This is Will Ferrell here, yeah? And I thought he was the cowbell guy. The ever-living shit out of me. Where's Christopher Walken? Is this Walken in a Will Ferrell costume? Or I'm assuming this clip is too short anyways. But where? Oh, I'm missing some. Oh, there's Christopher Walken. Okay. Okay, so he walks in later. Oh my god, how little do I know about this?
I put my pants on, just like the rest of you, one leg at a time. Except once my pants are on, I make gold records. All right, here we go. Don't fear the Reaper. Take.
God, this is so good.
Bruce, could you come in here for a second, please?
Okay, well, I'm gonna get copyright struck for this, but it was worth it. All right, Walken is the producer who demands more cowbells. Okay, thank you. I apologize for my lack of knowledge and memory of this. Keep watching. For funk, try Montagen Supersonic. Montagen Supersonic. I'm gonna have to take a note of that. Montagen Supersonic. Okay, I'm not gonna remember that. If in case I do, I'll try to check it out. You will hear the difference. You didn't watch long enough for Christopher Walken to come out. Why does the music sound familiar? The song is like a. I'm assuming that was a real song. Actually, I don't know. Okay, we might as well listen to the rest.
I gotta have more cowbell.
Don't blow this for us, Gene! Can I just say one thing?
Say it, baby, just say it.
I'm standing here staring at rock legend Bruce Dickinson.
The cock and a walk, baby.
And if Bruce Dickinson wants more cowbell, we should probably give him more cowbell.
I gotta have more cowbell, baby.
And I'd be doing myself a disservice and every member of this band if I didn't perform the hell out of this.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. I put my pants on.
Man, that's some good stuff, man. Will Ferrell. Oh yeah, so I mean he was a legend for my generation. Wait, while we're on the topic, there's a few other artists I'm trying to think of. Don't Fear the Reaper. Oh, that's the real song? For funk, try. Okay, let me just type this in so it'll get saved in my search history. You said Cordell Murder on My Mind. And then I'll just say funk Cordell. Oh my god. Cordell. Oh, that reminds me. Other big musicians that we listen to. Korn. There's like 1 or 2 songs by Korn that was like the most epic badass songs that everyone listened to. And then let's not forget Metallica. Oh no, better than Metallica was System of a Down. Oh my god, these guys were incredible. So Ayo, in case you want to listen, I'm acting as if you aren't very familiar with music, and like I said, I haven't listened to a new song in like years, but System of a Down was absolutely just one of those that it slaps. You would listen to it, the song just felt like its own genre at times. The lyrics are amazing. Chop Suey, Toxicity, Sugar, BYOB. Oh, these guys. We said Tenacious D, Queen. Who else did I listen to? Maybe that's as much as I got. System of a Down. Oh, there's that one band. There was a band that Franz Ferdinand. I like this band as well. And this is probably where I've exhausted all the music knowledge I've got. Ayo says, ooh la la, you got me intrigued. Yes. Oh, if you've never heard of System of a Down, you should be intrigued. System of a Down, Korn, they were just like, it's like heavy metal. I don't know my genres, but you know, that it was like some crazy good stuff. Oh, and then a random Yuva U. Completely random, and this one I know will get me copyright struck. There's a Mongolian throat singing band called The Who, H-U. And if you listen to this song, Yuva U on YouTube, oh man, it's epic. You know, because who knew that Mongolian heavy metal throat singing genre is as amazing as it is, but it is. And then you would see them, the way they filmed it, you would see them playing the horse fiddle or whatever it's called, and then they would make a certain song through that instrument that sounds like a horse neighing, right? So they're mimicking the sounds of horses with this horse fiddle. And I don't know, it's just like things like that. I'm like, bravo, good stuff. Or who's that one band that goes like, making my way downtown? There it is. This is one that everyone sang. 1,000 Miles. Oh, and then Green Day. Green Day was big. Okay, I'm having like flashes of memories of like, I'm going down some memory lanes here. Green Day was big. Was that the American Idiot song? Was that them? Yeah. So Green Day. Sublime. Oh my god, how could I forget about Sublime? Sublime. No, wait. Am I thinking the right thing? Is that the name of the artist? Band? Sublime. Yeah, okay. Oh man, Ayo. I don't know if Skillet counts. Skillet. Do you mean Skrillex? Skrillex? If you haven't heard of this band, Sublime was another one of those that just, you know, it just takes you back. Or you get lost in the music, you know? Santeria, What I Got. Those are the two that I like the most. Low Bass says it's a real song, but that's a song depicted in the cowbell sketch. Don't Fear the Reaper. Who's saying that? Don't Fear the Reaper. I'm not going to get any work done today. Blue Oyster Cult. Never heard of them. What are the top bands of the 80s and 90s? Oh, but then, yeah, I mentioned before, but Limp Bizkit was a huge one. Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit. I feel like Linkin Park is forever for every generation. Linkin Park. And I remember one of their songs, I didn't watch a lot of music videos, but they had that one music video which was like an anime style. I forget which song it was. But it was one of the first where I was like, oh, and that reminds me. Oh my god. I think that my ADHD is kicking in hard. You said Skillet? Oh, so that's the actual band name? Skillet. Skillet? Skillet. This is a American Christian rock band. Oh, I've never heard of these guys. But speaking of, I don't know if they're Christian. Creed? Did you guys ever listen to Creed? What's the song called? This is the first, I think this was the very first guitar song I ever learned when my mom gave me a guitar for Christmas. It was the Creed, something about 6 feet under, 6 feet from the edge. One Last Breath. This song right here. So this became the first song I ever learned. I used something, I wonder if the website still works. I think it was called guitartabs.com. It's probably gonna download some virus. Guitar tabs. Creed. One Last Breath. Yeah, oh my god, this is taking me back. This almost looks exactly like what I used in the past.
I've saw Creed but never heard of their songs.
But basically, I would look at this, I would...
Even saw Creed but never heard of their songs.
I've saw Creed, but never heard of their songs. This is literally the only song I know by them, so to be fair, who knows. But this song was very catchy, and the guitar piece is very intricate, right? It's like I was really into like finger picking as opposed to like strumming. So yeah, I would print this out, and then I would stare at this and play this over and over and over again, watch the YouTube video and listen over and over and over again until I nailed the part. Man, those are the days. The band Bill Murray is super interesting. I'm almost 100% sure they are stream friendly, and it's a blend from Bill Murray. Listen, I've been burned before by people saying you should be able to listen to them. I'm going to subscribe to them, and then I'll listen off stream. Oh, before I forget, the other band, Gorillaz. So Gorillaz was another band of, I guess, my generation, I'm assuming. 1998, okay. I feel like I wish more bands would be like Gorillaz. Or I guess there were a few, right? Who am I thinking of? There's that one EDM one where they wear the mask the whole time. I like that concept where they create characters out of the actual band performers. So it feels more like a real character. It's not like... I like when there's a separation. It's like you're watching the art and not... Like the artist becomes the art, I guess, is a way. And there's a separation from their real life. And once they enter into the character that is like one of these guys of the band or something. So this music was great. But if people were to tell me whether I like funk or funk, I like funk more. All right, I have some homework to do. I need to look into this whole funk. What does Bruno Mars count as? Is Bruno Mars funk or funk? Bruno Mars is primarily influenced by funk, soul, blah, blah, blah. I guess maybe he's too old for funk if it's more recent. All right, well, we're learning so much. What's happening, King Kruk? King says, getting a massage BRB. You're getting a massage from a leopard. All right, well, enjoy. A leopard. What did that make me think of? A leopard. What do you call a cougar? Sorry, my mind went there, but it took a while for me to connect the dots. Enjoy your massage from a cougar. Ayo, you're too young to understand that, I'm sure. I've got sunshine in my. I'm useless, but not for long because the future is. Yeah, that's Gorillas. Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming that's the lyrics. I don't actually know the full lyrics to that song, but that would be the Gorillas. And then who's the song? I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Now this is the old school version, right? Oh yeah. Oh, this is the. Sorry, we already talked about it. Temptations. All right, there we go. We've exhausted our music knowledge for the day. Thank you for taking me back. Wow. Enjoy your massage, King Kruk. Hopefully we'll see you later. Feeling relaxed. So, with all of that out of the way. Oh, sorry. I wanted to look into this Safari stream for a second. So this is iShowSpeed. He is definitely someone I'm inspired by. And the crazy thing is he's only 21 years old, which blows my mind. But more power to him. And again, I think it's a testament to what's possible. Like, I feel like kids, I say kids, but yeah, like I think with all this technology and everything at our fingertips, there are more opportunities for people when they're young to kind of make a name for themselves and, you know, blow up in a certain way that wasn't possible in the past. And there's a lot of ways that I think it gets abused. Like, I don't recommend. I do feel like whenever I look at you, Gen Alpha, Ayo, and like Gen Z, I feel bad in some ways for your generation because you guys are both Gen Alpha for sure, but then Gen Z, you guys are growing up in like a digital first or digital only age where the concept of like this like physical like just doing things more analog has been replaced by technology. And so I do feel bad at times that you guys don't get to see the best of both of these worlds that existed. To, you know, the art of slowing down essentially as well. And then also nowadays, like I think as you guys see all these content creators with TikTok, you know, we shifted in terms of social media. I saw a good video about this, but there was this concept of like once TikTok, you know, in 2020 when it blew up, there's this feeling where social media used to be more focused on the social side of things, where you're using social media like Facebook back in the day, Instagram, to actually connect with your fellow followers and friends. And then after TikTok, and as we shifted more into this like video content and like short form, quick video reels, it shifted from social being the focus to media and like entertainment. And now it became like what becomes the dopamine hit that keeps you going and keeps you watching more and more stuff. But it became less social and more just like, yeah, consumption. And I do feel bad because then now you're being influenced for certain things that you feel inspired by. But all of that to say, I think a person like iShowSpeed is an excellent example of someone taking his influence, taking this genre of like becoming a content creator, streaming, all of that, but showing a version that is mixing digital with analog, right? Like he's literally traveling the world. He's literally showing cultures, different experiences, different countries, showing the best of the world, right? And that is my mantra that I talk about on my channel all the time. I want to share the best of the world with the rest of the world. And I think he's currently the best example of someone doing that, to the point where I think some of you guys in the chat, when I mentioned this a few months ago, I think you guys laughed at me, but he's like the Anthony Bourdain of his generation, in the sense that Anthony Bourdain was beloved by all. You know, Anthony Bourdain isn't necessarily, he was known as a chef or whatever, like he was more into food, and yet he mixed his love and his passion of like food and cuisine to this, you know, mixing it into traveling the world and creating documentaries and showing people the food of the world in a nice way that is more enlightening. And I feel like iShowSpeed's doing it in his own way with this new platform. Anyways, Ao says no problem. Core memory unlock, I guess. Yeah, we're unlocking a lot of crazy memories now. So the point is, he recently did a tour of Africa, and I was a little bit bummed that he did this tour so soon, because he was also one of those people in my mind where I was like, look, if I can succeed at this concept that I'm trying to do, which is wildlife IRL streaming, because that's what I do. I travel the world. I do a lot of these wildlife trips, or I go to these very remote locations. And so the thought of being able to stream it live was always the main thing I wanted to figure out. That's why I got into live streaming, at least from home, to keep testing this out, see what it takes to be a live streamer, see what kind of tech is required to be a live streamer, see what's all of it. And my hope was that this year I wanted to start going to places like, Kenya, Botswana, Zimbabwe, parts of Europe, and start live streaming when I'm chasing after wildlife. And I was hoping that if I do this, and keep doing it, and hopefully we blow up from it, hopefully it's successful and people enjoy watching it and it becomes a thing that is part of my brand, then I was like, oh, I can then outreach to someone like IShowSpeed who travels the world.
I noticed you have
And
a
I can let him know,
YouTube.
like,
Can I
hey,
sub
join
to
me,
you?
and I'll be your camera guy. You can be a part of the crew. I've already rigged up the Jeep and everything. That was the
I
hope.
noticed you have a YouTube. Can I sub to you?
I noticed you have a YouTube. Can I sub to you? You don't have to ask. I demand. Actually, I demand that right now. I'm going to put a link to my YouTube. You must click on that link and follow me on YouTube. And you can watch it. You can watch my streams on YouTube. I have all of the VODs saved on the YouTube channel. But I appreciate you asking, and I appreciate you hopefully doing it. But no, that would mean a lot, because that's the big thing that I've been focusing on in the past couple of years, is building up the YouTube channel. And in the past half a year, it's been also building up Twitch and live streaming across the platforms. So thank you. I would appreciate it. On my YouTube channel right now, what I would also say is I mostly have been dabbling and experimenting with trying to make cinematic content, starting with a bunch of my travels. So I've been sharing a few of these travel vlogs of the different countries I've been to. I still have about 10 to 12 countries trips in the past 2 years that I need to post online onto my channel. But that's like the type of content hopefully you'll enjoy watching. Separately, I've been starting to do a bit more talking head stuff, like this live stream, but doing proper YouTube videos where I talk about product reviews or whatever else. And a new thing that you should see on my YouTube, it's the latest video I've created. Actually, let me plug that again. !BTL. The Behind the Lens, okay? Behind the Lens, it's a new series I'm starting where it's just going to be like 3 minutes, 5 minutes long, and I just talk about a bit more condensed topic that you might get on my live stream, to be fair, but I'm going to try to have it a bit more polished and more focused so you guys can enjoy it that way. Yo, Ayo Savero, thank you very much for subbing. Thank you for following through. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, and hopefully you enjoy the content. So every time someone follows, it just gives me that much more motivation to make sure I do a good job. Ayo says, holy cheese crackers, 9,000 subs. I take that as a good thing, yeah? Hopefully. We're small time, okay? I need to go from that 10K. I'll know I've succeeded when we hit 50K for sure would be like amazing. But yeah, thank you very much. It's been a really fun grind, but it is a grind, and I'm learning every day how much effort is required to create content for these channels. So everyone's support it. Watch my videos, hit the like button, leave a comment here and there. All of that's appreciated. But yeah, thank you very much. And also, Ayo, since you are the Gen Alpha, if you would like to join my Discord channel, we've got a awesome community that I'm just, day by day trying to build up this community. Admittedly, I still don't really know how to use Discord properly, but my hope is that we'll keep getting people to join there. L thing in the chat, I don't know if L is still here, but L also offered to be a moderator. I'm like, oh my god, I don't think my channel's big enough and my stream isn't big enough yet to need a moderator, but it's cool that people are volunteering for that. Or I don't know if he's volunteering or if I have to pay him. But yeah. Anyways, Ayo says I barely have that. I mean, listen, I only have 340 subs. Don't say only, man. We've got someone in the chat who is only maybe a year or two older than you, if that. Wait, how old is DTK? We have someone in the chat, due to know, DOTONKNOW, due to know. He joined my stream maybe a week ago, and I believe he says he's either 13 or 14 or 15. I think 13 years old. And this kid, right? He's a kid. I mean, he's your age, Gen Alpha. He was sharing a lot of his YouTube videos that he's made, and he edits it himself. He talks in front of the camera. He's doing the vlogging tutorials, and so it was super impressive. And yeah, you're so young. So the fact that you've got 340 subs is actually like a huge. That means a lot more. That means you're doing the right thing. You've already got people willing to watch your content. You know, because I had 0 subs a couple years ago, I think, right? Until I started. Ayo X Vero. I'll make sure to follow you back. Hold on. I'll follow you on this channel. This is what I use for my stream. Ayo Vero. No. Ayo X Vero. Or let me know what I'm supposed to follow. Maybe I'm clicking the wrong things here. Okay, so
Yeah, chat. This is a prank, though. This is a prank. We're doing all of this for a prank.
so this is like, okay, now we're talking levels to this, right? So clearly, iShowSpeed, he's one of the biggest streamers in the world. He gets like millions and millions of views. So he's able to have basically his own production crew. And so you can see here, it looks like how many Jeeps are here, how many people are here. He's got his own protection. This is like, it's a bit overkill, but it's also really cool because that's the attention he's able to get for what he does. So my hope is to do obviously a much more small scale concept where I want to pitch to a few lodges, a few safari operators, possibly like tourism boards, and be like, hey, I'm testing out this pilot. I'm trying to live stream, yada, yada, yada. And I think I've got that locked in now, or potentially. I have a few, I've been making progress there. So hopefully you can imagine I might travel somewhere for like 7 days, stream every single day, multiple hours in the morning, afternoon, in the evening, back from the lodge. And I'll share it with you guys. So you guys will be able to see me in the wild as we're capturing a little bit of, let's see. Trying to find the wildlife moments. iShowSpeed.
Fuck, bro.
So something like this, right? Do a boat safari. Look at that. Look at the guy's camera. Hold on. Come back. So this is the level that he gets to work with, which is so amazing. I would love to be a camera operator like this dude. I enjoy the filming stuff. But they're working with some heavy duty gear. Actually, I can't even tell what this is. We might have some people in the chat who know better what kind of gear is being used here. But this looks like a proper cinema camera. You know, they got the shotgun mic. I don't know, maybe that's a small monitor there. And then he's got this big ass backpack behind him. And I'm wondering if this is housing. This looks too big to be like that TVU kit. And depending where they are, I don't even know if they have network connection, but I just need that. Show that to me again. Slow motionless. Okay. Can we make out what this is? He's got this big ass box. It's like a chest. And I'm wondering what is inside the chest. It could be power source, maybe. Could it be a Starlink? Could you have a Starlink here, but if it's blocked, would that work? I need to like, I feel like I need to just like research all of his streams so I have a good sense of like what kind of tech that he's using. But this is like high profile stuff. AO says, ever since I've been a bassist, I'm actually running good. I make 50,000 per a serve. What are we talking about here? You've actually been running good. I make 50,000 per serve. 50,000 views, or what are we talking about here? If you're talking money, if you're making $50,000 per whatever, 50,000 rupiah. What is rupiah? Let's look this up. Rupiah. Oh, gotcha. Oh, you're making. Oh, so you're making actual money off of Indonesian currency. Nice. I need to go to Indonesia still. That's on my bucket list. I would love to do some documentaries there, and then obviously for the wildlife, get some of the orangutans.
Bro, this is fucking.
I saw there was like an orangutan sanctuary. I was like, oh, maybe I should go there.
Or something. Okay.
So they were able to do the stream. Obviously, they're switching, so they got a different scene here.
So if I see like a hip or.
They got I think it's two cameramen.
Look now. I'm trying to see FOG.
And they have a drone. See, this is like production level to the max. We're not going to be able to do this right away. These are like the ambitions that I'm hoping for eventually. Let's see. So, oh, did I purchase this? I think I need to purchase the wrist strap. So let's say if I'm streaming, I need to have my iPhone on my wrist so I can monitor the stream. I would then use that to switch scenes and do everything else, assuming I'm a one-man show. Ayo says, if you ever do try finding me, I'm on the popular places of Jakarta. Okay. I shall.
How are we using this?
Okay, so this is the second camera person. I think I saw her holding a camera earlier.
Bro, I go. Bro, I'm
Okay, hold on. Give me that shot again.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I'm.
What is it? What are you using? My guess is everyone seems to use like a Sony FX3, FX6 or something like that. So that's currently my assumption of what this camera is.
Bro, I'm trying to see. What if I just?
Oh my God, he's got a third camera. So we know he's got at least 3 cameras plus the drone.
Hippo swimming. Don't throw it. This ain't dropping.
Now, one thing I want to do, so once I start doing these live streams myself, I do want to see how much can I push. There's probably technical limitations and all that, but I would love to see how much can I create my own LUTs and like some kind of color profiles to make the live stream feel as cinematic as possible, you know? Like for instance here, you can see that the sky is super blown out. I'm assuming they're streaming at like 1080p or something like that. So there will be certain limitations, but at the very least, when I'm filming, I'm hoping I should have all the proper ND filters and just making every shot look like it's got the best lighting, the best setup. So that's one thing. I'm hoping that as I do this, I can try my best to stand out from anyone else attempting to do this, is to just make every shot feel like it wasn't live streamed and it was actually like, I want it to be obviously live streamed, but I want it to feel like it's a cinema, you know? AO says I have 580K, which is equivalent to $34. Oh, nice. From the YouTube channel, you're saying?
Our boats are just, bro, it's dropped.
Can't believe he got a drone.
Got an ant.
Okay, so then I want to see when he transitions to the Jeep. Maybe we can see a bit more of the tech. Oh, okay. Oh, we have an example of when the stream dies. Which is also good to know, right? Because obviously the stream continues. It's just blacked out here. Because that was one of the other things that we were deliberating about, like, okay, how do you make it so if you lose connection for however long, you don't want the stream to end. You want it to hopefully just continue and either have like a BRB type of a scene that shows up until you're back online. I guess in his case, they just kept it rolling. No signal. Okay, there we go.
Yo, we need to go. It says no signal though. What are you doing? Sit down. Where's Desmond at? Holy crap. Hey, hold on. Worst case fucking. Come down with my here.
Here's some other things that, again, like the way I think of it, the things that I can do to make sure that when I do this type of IRL stream, it's going to be better quality. It's not, it sounds a bit, there's too much hubris when I say it that way. I don't mean it that way. But if there are things that I think I could do better, or to have a more unique approach to how I would stream these things, I want to stream this from the perspective of a wildlife photographer, right? Because that's what I am. So for me, it would try to be allowing you guys to see into how I might be shooting, or how someone else, if someone joins me who's a photographer, showing their perspective. Which means, for example, here, I show Speed is being the character. Like, we're watching his stream for him, right? He's like the entertainer, he's the main character. He's not there to be a photographer. He's just enjoying the sights. He's a tourist, right? So then where he's seated, you know, he's on this like rooftop, higher vantage point, which is great for him to just kind of casually enjoy the views. It's great for the cameraman to film him, you know, in this vehicle. So it works for that purpose. But for my needs, of course, I would be trying to film it from like, where would a photographer be seated? Oh my God, I can't speak. Where would the photographer be seated in the vehicle to have the best vantage point, the best perspective for the wildlife shot? And it would make sure then that when we see the animal that we want to photograph, we switch the camera view to, let's say if I'm the camera guy, and you would see my point of view. Like, here's how I frame the shot. You would actually even see when I take the photo, here's the framing, you know, that kind of stuff. So those would be the things I focus on, is actually showing a vantage point of how the wildlife photographer would capture the moment, where they're seated, what points of view or angles that we're looking to see the animal from, and then show the shot. So AO says, Speed is the type of people who would be funny and sarcastic, but he'd be very kind. I remember the time he bought the Michael Jackson playlist, I think, to a security guard. Forgot his name. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I don't see a lot of streamers content, to be honest, but I do obviously see his clips pop up because he's one of the most viral content creators. I don't know much about his past, but he's only 21. But I know some people said when he was much younger, he was more controversial because he's like this really high energy, very bombastic kind of personality. I don't know what that means, but all I know is, like, from everything I've seen in the past few years of how he travels the world, he's probably one of the best examples, in my opinion, of a content creator that's like spreading positivity as opposed to being like, you know, being a nuisance, causing issues, being a troll, you know, that kind of stuff, which that tends to, I feel like that's the majority of the viral streamers and some of the top streamers on Twitch, YouTube, whatever it is, which is unfortunate, because that's what the people want, right? They're big streamers because people want to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, I hope to be one of those that are in the former category. I don't want to, hopefully I can be someone that people watch because you're just enjoying the moment, you know? AO says, unlike Logan Paul, and on the other hand, I would say that he's also nice, but there was this one moment where he got angry over a game and grabbed his cameraman's camera and smashed it on the ground. Who are we talking about? Is this Logan Paul or I Show Speed? A shit ton of dollars, by the way, and the cameraman bought it with hard, cold blood money. Yeah, whoever did that, I mean, you know what? Here's one thing I will say before I cast too much judgment on it. I mean, it is still shaded in judgment, but I know a lot of these content creators, personalities, streamers, they sometimes are very exaggerated on stream because they know they have to go viral in order for people to pay attention to them, you know, quote unquote, the attention economy, right? So sometimes maybe it's scripted. Maybe they pre-plan this with the cameraman being like, hey, at some point I'm going to get upset you and I'm going to smash that camera on the ground. Don't worry, I'll pay for it again. But it'll go viral. It's going to go on all the subreddits and social media, and it's just going to generate buzz so people click on the next stream. I get that's like a proper strategy that they might use. So who knows? Maybe that was done for scripted reasons as opposed to like actual heat of the moment being an asshole. it doesn't make it that much better because it's still fake, right? And it's still this like, I don't know, there's something about it that's not as authentic. Oh, it's by definition not authentic, but yeah. What's up, Mindful? Mindful in the chat saying living mindfully equals more cowbell. Oh, nice. You're on that part of the YouTube stream. Well, we did end up watching it also. Enjoy it while it's streamed, because I'm assuming I'm going to have to cut it out of my live stream VOD. Hopefully you're doing well, Mindful. Thanks for being here. Happy Wednesday. AO says there was one problem with iShowSpeed before. Let me just keep playing this while we're figuring this out. Every milestone he gets or donation he gets, his mother is the person who would never appreciate it. His mother. Oh, you know what? I think I saw some moment explaining how either he didn't know his family growing up, or yeah, like he grew up in a broken family perhaps, or something like that. And I think I saw some sad video where they're showing like his mom still kind of asks him for money, but doesn't seem to doesn't seem as motherly, let's say. I don't know. I don't know how much I can believe of things that I see online, but I think I did see something about that, which made me feel bad for him a little bit. They said Logan Paul never paid him back till this day. Listen, I mean, Logan Paul, he's the Logan Paul, Jake Paul, those guys, they're like in another bucket of I don't know what to say. I don't think they're good influencers. I don't think they're good influences on any generation, to be honest. Yeah, but maybe it's good that they're famous to show people what not to be like. Is what I would say. I don't respect people like that. I respect that how they became famous. I remember back in the day, oh my God, Ayo, you're too young for this. There was a platform called Vine. My goodness. Vine was like the OG, I don't know what you say, TikTok? Vine. Media. What happened to Vine, the pioneering 6-second looping video platform, founded and owned by Twitter, officially shut down in 2017. Its demise was driven by intense competition from platforms like Instagram, failure to monetize, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But Vine was like the OG, man. I had so much fun watching all the creators there, and I felt like every single creator on Vine was beyond creative. They were like, yeah, they were just finding this new niche. I don't think anything like this existed before then, of like that short form content. And Logan Paul was one of those creators. Ayo said, did someone say Vine? Do you remember Vine? Or you know about Vine? The guy who made Prime and likes boxing. Yeah, I think that's Logan or Jake Paul, one of those guys. But yeah, Logan Paul for sure was one of the pioneers in that space. And back then, when I used to watch his content, I thought it felt very, what's the word? Innocent's the wrong word. It felt very, just like neutral. You know, it was just like fun content. Nothing controversial. Nothing, one way or the other. It was just meant to be like feel good entertainment. And then he had that one crazy moment in Japan that he got like canceled for. And then I feel like he just spiraled into certain things. I don't know if this is always his personality or if this was eventually what fame does to people, or maybe even infamy does to people. But it seemed like he then embraced being the bad guy, and he embraced it way too hard, because with that came a lot of money, right? He made so much more money being the bad guy, the heel. Is that what they call it? So who knows? I don't know how they are in real life. But at some point, if you act a certain way on TV, on camera, and if that's majority of how people know of you, that's at some point that is you. You can't just keep saying it's just a character. So, but yeah, I was so disappointed in those guys, because I remember growing up, I was a wrestler. My dad was an Olympic wrestler. I was taught wrestling since like the age of 4, so it was ingrained in my childhood, my upbringing. And I remember back then, Logan Paul, I think both of them were high school wrestlers. And so they're even small things like that, I felt connected. I was like, oh, that's so cool, because you don't meet a lot of fellow wrestlers and all that kind of stuff. So I had high hopes that these were like awesome creators, and then it just went downhill, in my opinion. Listen, you can love and respect whoever, but yeah. That's what I think. Ayo says, I've heard of Vine. I used to watch one time and then I left it abandoned. Yeah, it used to be the platform that we would watch all the fun content on. Mindful says, oh yeah, I remember Vine. I never went over to it because I was attached to MySpace. Man, MySpace was another one. Vine never really took hold so much. Ayo says, it's like my TikTok. I watched it one time and I left it eventually. I don't mind TikTok. The problem is I live in Dubai and the algorithm just feeds me all this Arabic content. So like I can't even read the subtitles. It's just like Arabic stuff. And unfortunately then it just blocks my ability to keep watching. Apparently that might be one of the things that is also causing issues, could cause issues for the growth of my Twitch channel because I'm in Dubai. So basically it's more Arabic content that usually gets floated or is demanded or watched. So there could be other things like that that could cause issues. Who knows? Oh, we got, wait, hold on. Did I zoom? Oh, hold on. Wait, don't mind me. I jumped around somewhere. Mindful, he should have known not to film that place in Japan though. That is obvious. To be honest, I don't remember much of that thing anymore. It's been so long ago. My recollection was like he went to a place that's super controversial because that's where a lot of people go to like end existence, if you will. And either he knew about it or he should have known about it, but he still went there and filmed like an actual, did he film an actual body or something? Or even if he didn't show a real body there, he might have, what's the word I'm looking for? Implied. He might have implied that there was a body there. And either way, it then goes into a level of like pretty disrespectful. Daytor is in the chat. Guten Abend, Daytor. Hello, thank you for watching over on the Twitch side. So we live everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, Kick, except for TikTok. Maybe I'll start that later, but it's already 8 p.m. Hopefully you're having a good evening or a good afternoon, Daytor. Datore. Ayo says Dubai. Wow. Yeah, I've been in Dubai for the past several years, but I'm originally from the U.S. Mindful says, oh yeah, Fed, Tom was our friend. Oh yeah, he was my first friend. Ayo, you wouldn't get that reference. You don't know who Tom is, Ayo. You've never been friends with Tom. Let me show you who Tom is. Tom, my friend. Oh, I was hoping it would show up like that. You know what? Kind of a side note. So Ayo, I'm assuming you don't know this, but Tom was the guy who started a social media platform. Some would argue maybe the very first social media platform called MySpace. So MySpace, did it precede Facebook? Yeah, I think it did, yeah. I don't know why my memory's not that good, but it was like MySpace was big before Facebook. And people, including myself, you would create your own web page, right? Your space, MySpace. And that's how people would find about like, what music do you like? What are you listening to right now? You would put posts there. It is literally the origin of all of these like social media concepts. It was MySpace. And then I don't know actually the history of it, who bought them out and stuff like that. But when you created a MySpace account, you would always start with one friend, right? So that way you don't start with nobody. And that friend was our beloved Tom. Tom would be your MySpace friend, which is kind of funny. So that on your website, you'd be like, you would be able to see on your MySpace profile how many friends you have. You would see I think the avatars or like all the profile pictures of your friends. You can choose who to show on your web page, right? And Tom would be one of those ones as the default that you would have as a friend. But Tom is like a really good example of, I think, someone that is living life the right way. I think, because it's been a while since I've followed up on him. But I remember he disappeared, right? So he was known for MySpace. The company got bought out or something, and he disappeared. Never was like trying to get the like the limelight or be in public space. And then out of nowhere, I remember someone told me, or I saw it randomly, this dude, using all his money that he earned from creating this company, just started traveling the world and got into photography. And his photographs, it was like exceptional, like really good stuff. Do I really have to log in to show Tom's Instagram page? You gotta be kidding me. Photographs. Maybe this will show up. MySpace Tom is enjoying retirement. Let's click on this. AO says, oh, damn, I'm too young. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Who's Tom? Tom from MySpace, maybe. Yeah. 17 stunning travel photos reveal how MySpace Tom is enjoying retirement. This is back in 2018. Look at these photos. You know? This is like, if I win the jackpot, this is what I aspire to be like. You know, just use that money and just travel the world and hopefully capture it in the best way possible, inspire people, all that kind of stuff. All right, where are his other photos? Look at that, getting a double rainbow in Oahu, Hawaii. Then, oh my God, is that like, okay, so there's a volcano. Look at that, he gets this beautiful silhouette shot. Like, so he's, I don't know if he took the photo or if this is someone who shot for him, but look at the composition. So I remember seeing his Instagram randomly, and I was getting so impressed by like his skill level and just him doing this. And if I'm being honest, I wish more of these like famous CEOs and people with a lot of money, I wish they would just all do the same thing. Like, instead of being so narcissistic, who knows, maybe MySpace Tom is narcissistic. After all, he forced us all to be his friend, right? It doesn't get more narcissistic than that. But yeah, I think he's doing things right. Look at these beautiful photos. He's been to Lofoten. Hopefully I'll be going to Norway as well soon. Ala Moana Beach Park. So taking some cool shots in Hawaii. Yeah. Iceland photos. So he just takes some of the coolest landscape photography shots, adventure shots, travel stuff. So if there was, actually, you know what? It's been a while. I haven't thought about this. But if there was someone famous that I would love to spend dinner with or grab a coffee with, I'm actually thinking that MySpace Tom might be literally, if not number one, definitely in like the top 3 to 5 famous people I would love to grab a bite with, you know? AO says Windows 10, 11 wallpaper. Oh my God, the days of the wallpaper. They look the same with the Windows 10 wallpaper because it's gold photography. Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to differentiate his photograph versus like a, I don't know, award-winning photographer kind of stuff. So Singapore, I've been here. I took a shot like this. Not as good. Rachel says he came back to social media on Threads. Oh, okay. I created a Threads when it first came out, but yeah. He got canceled almost right away because he was investing in Elon's companies. This was right after the Epstein files released. Oh no. Well, listen, this so maybe after, wait, is he in the files? As long as he's not in the files, okay? That's the other thing. Oh, sometimes you just don't want to have idols these days because it feels like every one of your idols will let you down. You know, there's something that you're going to find out about what they do. Investing in Elon's companies, I'm not as like bothered by that. I'm not a fan of Elon though. Let's just be real. But I am a fan of some of his companies, right? I think SpaceX is incredible what it can do and what it's achieving. Tesla, for what it's worth, was one of the best examples of like really pushing the envelope with like new technology. Starlink, right? I think to me, providing network to places that don't have access to a network is one of the best things you can do, or it's like one of the most humanitarian things you can do. That's a little too weird of a word to say for that, but providing internet I feel like is almost like as important as water and sustenance in this day and age when you're living in this type of interconnected world. And so to provide internet access to communities, to people, is one of the best ways to give them opportunities to be successful or just live life with more knowledge, more expansive kind of toolkit. So companies like Starlink, while it can be used for negative, like with any other type of tool, to provide access to places that, don't have it, I think that's amazing. I think those are like good mission statements. Mindful says the Epstein files were released. LOL. AO says, God dang it, why does every good good idol's getting affected by the Epstein files? I was not really a big fan of Tesla back then, especially the Cybertruck. I'm not a fan now. Not that I talk about these types of topics often, just because I do my, I don't know, it's my choice, I guess, but I try my best not to do like a lot of controversial topics for my stream. Because like, you know, these things can lead to a lot of like anger and frustration, or just like, you know, just feeling heated about the way the world is. There's a lot of bad actors in the world. There's a lot of bad players. There's a lot of bad events going on. So there's an infinite number of things that can consume your mind to make you feel worse, more depressed, angry, whatever it is. So my hope was that my streams wouldn't necessarily lean into that too much. You know, occasionally is fine. So, but yeah, Tesla I'm not a fan of, but a lot of it is biased by Elon in particular. But even before Elon got super political, there were signs that were coming out already that he might not be the best personality, best person. I remember there's something, was it Thailand or Indonesia actually? There was that one incident where some kids or people were stuck in a cave, like an underwater cave. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It had to do with somewhere in Southeast Asia, I think. And there was this whole international effort to try to save the people that were trapped. And there was some scuba diver who, maybe like a Navy SEALs or someone, you know, a professional, was like trying to save those kids or as part of the rescue efforts. And then I feel like he got into a spat with Elon out of nowhere. Like, I think it was something like Elon made some post about how he was going to help the kids by sending over his technology to help them out. And it was something where maybe the scuba diver called him out for how performative that message was, because he wasn't actually doing anything to help, or yeah, something like that. And then Elon got offended, and Fed says, yeah, he said the rescuer was a pedo. Yeah, right. It's like that. I remember that was one of the first moments where like a red flag finally kicked off, where I was like, hold on a second. Because before then, he did such a good job of crafting this image of himself as like a Tony Stark, you know, benevolent billionaire trying to save the world, you know, going to Mars or whatever else, like trying to create all these companies that's connecting the world, doing all the best things. And he did such a good job of crafting that image. It was like unshakable. And then that was one of the first cracks, I guess, that made me start to have like that question mark. Mindful says, I like the idea of a Tesla vehicle before his politics came out. I would like to support better companies. Rivian is dope, though. I've never heard of Rivian. I don't know much about cars, to be honest. AO says, I used to listen to some old classics, but now I just listen to ambience. Oh, we're talking about music? Yeah. My man has spawned 99% of the car guys, yeah. This was in Malaysia. Okay. Yeah, so it's been a while. And then I remember randomly seeing a YouTube video where someone was breaking down the smoke and mirrors of what he does with his companies, where he'll make all these splashy, he'll make all these splashy announcements and get people to donate money, not donate, but make deposits for, you know, hey, we're about to launch this crazy concept, this cyber truck, or this Tesla thing or whatever, or like not the cyber truck. It was like some kind of Tesla freight trucks, right? And there's gonna be automated trucking. And he had his solar stuff, and he had like the boring company for the tunnels, and there's like all these projects he would put his name on and create these flashy visuals and sell people that this was going to be just around the corner. Just give your deposit so you can get yours. But then I feel like majority of those projects never went through. Either people forget about it because then he throws another flashy project and people move on. But half of those things that he put so much like, you know, trying to convince you it's definitely happening, none of it came about. So then there was a little bit of this feeling like, wait a second, is he just like a good showman? Is he just like a salesperson and he's just like milking everyone for money and selling the flash, but there's nothing in the pan type thing, you know? So anyways, those are my little initial kind of concerns with the guy, and it's only gotten worse since. But yeah. Anywho, it is what it is. Hopefully he's not listening, because I do need a Starlink unit. So he seems like the petty type who, if he, not that he would ever see my stream, but if he ever caught wind of it, he would just be like, you know what? Make sure this guy never gets a functioning Starlink ever. It's like, oh, come on, man. Okay, anyways. So I'm assuming they're using a Starlink for this. This is in Kenya where Starlink is operational. And then obviously he's got a huge film crew. He's got way more money to make this as professional as possible. However, there are a few things that I think that could have been done better, including I think the quality of the film here. It still has a bit more of a flat look to it. It's like clearly using a professional camera that we saw, but it could just be that unfortunately when you're streaming, everything gets lost in terms of the resolution or the quality. But there, I don't know, maybe there could have been, I don't know if they're using an ND filter or not. You can see a little bit of highlights here in the sky, but at times it felt like it was overexposed or blown out. So I wonder, maybe the stream colors and the color grading, if you will, could look much better when we start doing our IRL streams. Same thing with the quality of, let's say, the wildlife shots. Maybe I'll need to double check. Hopefully I make sure I have the best resolution, but then also the best colors that pop in the shots. So even here you can see it's a bit overexposed right now. So here's my thinking. I could be wrong, and I apologize in advance if I'm wrong. But my feeling is like his cameramen, or at least the one whoever's shooting this, they're not like wildlife photographers. They're camera people. They know how to operate the cameras. Because IShowSpeed is not a wildlife guy, right? He's a travel guy. So I'm assuming his camera needs and the operator's needs are different, where it's more just capturing day-to-day moments. But I wonder, maybe, would they using an ND filter, or maybe it's just, I have no idea. Who knows? Who knows? We're just here to learn.
Staring at the ground. Your Starlink's staring at the ground.
Oh, he said it. Oh, we just caught the words. Oh my God, we got our fact check. He said the Starlink's covering the ground or something. Hold on. Okay, are they arguing with each other? That'd be hilarious. Hold on. We're about to get some behind the scenes that should help me for my own IRL streaming needs. So this is a crucial moment.
Bro, why do I think this shit is lagging?
I still hear Taylor.
Why's my phone not?
You don't have Anthony?
No, I'm talking about.
You gotta
You're leaning, bro. You have to kneel down.
Your Starlink's staring at the ground.
Your Starlink's staring at the ground. Okay. Cool. So one verification done. So they're leveraging Starlink to be able to do this stream. Perfect. These are those, like, it's a bit obvious in some ways. I guess if you're in that space, you're like, yeah, obviously you could do it. But for me, sometimes I just need to see it to believe it. So yes, check. We would need to purchase a Starlink, hook it up to the Jeep most likely, and it should at least solve the network issue as part of the equation. And then obviously there's other things we need to test.
If they break this thing, it never goes back.
Yeah, the task is broken.
Chat, his tux is broken.
You think he was fighting a lion? No.
Is his back
It could be from the trees.
Trees, right?
The trees, because they're in. So if you look at him right now, he's having a drink. It's a nice.
He's having a drink?
Yeah.
The big one is having a drink.
The big one. Yeah.
Where?
So now.
Oh, I see it.
Elephants have got.
I'm trying to figure out what camera they're using for this and the lens. Because at one point when they pointed over at the elephant, it looked like they did some kind of weird optical zoom, or it was like weird, like it just punched in real quick, as opposed to like if you manually twisted the lens. Like
These big ears, and they use them for.
Bro,
For cooling.
no, your pack was gone. As soon as you did it.
Okay, my charge is coming. She's coming.
Who's coming? She's coming.
Let's go back in.
Yo, y'all should get back in the car, bro.
Back in the vehicle, we said.
Back in the car.
oh man, they're well. I'm assuming they have special privileges, right? Because this is IShowSpeed. But generally speaking, you're not supposed to be out of the car like this, especially around elephants. Elephants are notorious for being the ones that cause tourist deaths every year, because like sometimes they'll run down the Jeep and then they'll flip it over. Actually, I think that happened even the other year, where it was pretty viral in the news, because like the elephant chased down the car wasn't able to back up in time, and then I think one lady died just from the vehicle getting turned over and being
That's the male. The mom
We're good?
You never went black.
Chat, I ain't gonna lie, just looking at them is so beautiful, bro.
So this is one thing I guess I have to get used to, is like having a phone on your wrist so you can monitor, I guess, the visual. So it becomes your monitor, making sure the stream is working, and then you can see the chat and all that other stuff. But I would need to figure out, if it's just me, I would need to not just monitor, but also be able to switch scenes and all the other things myself. Because as of now, it's just it would be a one-man crew thing. Ideally, I can have another person join me who can help me out with, like, you know, or I don't know if it can be done remotely, but being able to switch scenes as needed. But yeah, Mindful says, this is awesome. BTS never really see anything like this on these trips. Yeah, exactly. This is why I was excited to do this myself, right? It's knowing that there's a lot of amazing photographers, filmmakers out there, but usually if you ever want to see them in their wildlife trips, you have to wait for them to come back home and have the time. And look at how long it's taking me, right, to go through all my travel vlogs. So you have to wait for them to eventually publish their video of their time in Masai Mara or whatever safari. But by that time, you lose a little bit of that feeling of the moment, right? And you're getting the most curated version, right? You're getting the storytelling version. But to see it live, it's like it really puts on edge the fact that you're in the wild, where everything is unpredictable. Who knows what will happen? And if something unpredictable happens, good or bad, you can actually catch it in the moment. And that makes it feel like, even though you're not there in person, you're almost having this mutually shared experience. Like we were all part of having that one moment that is like a once in a lifetime experience. So to me, I think it resonates more, especially with wildlife as the topic, to be able to see with me in the same time when an elephant charges at you or a cheetah's doing a hunt, right? And hopefully it's a bit more of like a learning experience, because then you can see what it takes to photograph the moment or film it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it just makes a lot of sense. And so now I'm super excited seeing these examples, right? We have the biggest streamers showing that it's possible. And now my goal is to do it myself. Ayo says, sorry, I fell asleep on the stream, but I'll catch up to you later. Goodbye. Damn, I'm that exciting, you know? Thank you very much, Ayo. Thank you for contributing to the chat. Thanks for the follow on YouTube as well. And hopefully I'll see you in the next stream. I tend to stream, I do my best to stream every day, like 5 times a week, let's say. So like Monday through Fridays is what I usually try to do. And then just depending on my schedule, sometimes I have to take a day out or here or there. But thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. I need to sleep. My apologies. No need to apologize. I'm just joking. Thank you though, and have a good night. Thanks.
I want to fix this tux though.
He keeps saying tux.
Unfortunately, once the task is broken, that's the end.
So here's the other thing that I would make sure to do on my streams. I would most likely, because I'm a small crew anyways, I would be mic'd up, and then the driver would be mic'd up. Usually the driver is the driver plus the guide, right? So they put 2 hats on. Sometimes some safaris, they'll have a dedicated driver and a safari guide in the passenger seat or nearby. It just depends. But either way, I would want to mic up the guide. So then at the very least, there should be 2 of us mic'd up at all times. So when I strike up a conversation with the guide, or like what you're seeing here, when you're asking questions like, oh, who is this, what's this elephant's name, or how did this happen? You would actually be able to listen on the stories and the education side of things. So
Really?
So that is because of the leaves. They use those cars to leaves.
Here, try to get that shot behind me. You have to get back there. Get back there. Try.
I have to stand up. See, now
what's funny is, like, I haven't seen a lot of iShowSpeed, but he comes off as someone who I'm not gonna say micromanage, but he's someone who like seems to have a good vision of what the viewers want to see. And so it is funny at times hearing him basically tell the cameraman, like, yo, you're getting the shot wrong. You need to get lower. You know, it's like, hey, you need to focus on this animal, not this one. And I don't think he's wrong. It's just funny. He seems to have a good eye for that, and he's like very demanding, which is good. I think I would want to work with someone like him, because the worst thing is having someone who doesn't tell you how to be better.
he's having a mud bath, eh?
He's having a mud bath?
Yeah, mud bath. You see that?
Bro, chat, we're looking at this IRL. A mud.
So I guess here's an example where the Starlink is, I paused it. Let me just make sure, is this quality? Yeah, 1080. So yeah, this is, I guess, one of the things I would have to expect on the stream is that the resolution will drop. It'll get laggy at times. But I think this is acceptable. Most people assume this will
The
happen.
Starlink died. The Starlink.
I can't get the info
Yes, you
it's
can.
too hot now.
Like that.
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot for them. So it's more like go this way, go this way.
Oh my god,
that?
this is so important for what I'm doing, because now we're actually hearing them when they're troubleshooting. So he was complaining, saying you got to fix the Starlink, and then they were saying that it's too hot, because that is one of the concerns that I was trying to think through. Is like if you have the Starlink on the top of the Jeep, so it has a direct view of the sky, do you run into overheating issues?
Hey,
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot. There's that right there.
Why did they do mud dap?
the Starlink died. The Starlink.
I can't get the info
Yes,
because
you
it's
can.
too hot now.
Like that.
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot for them. So it's more like go this way, go this way. Right there. Yeah.
This is crazy, chat.
So one thing I guess I need to figure out is it possible to have the Starlink instead of rigging it up to the top of the Jeep? If I were able to put it in one of the seats inside the car, just by having the metallic roof over the Starlink, would that be enough to block the connection? And by the sound of it, or based on how flimsy, I say flimsy, but seeing how just a few adjustments makes it lag, and they're complaining, or they're fighting about the Starlink positioning, it seems like, yeah, that could be the case. So even just having that obstructing the Starlink's view of the sky could be an issue. So then I would need to make sure it's on the roof, is my assumption. And then the question is, how can I keep it cool? One of the things is that I would be doing the safaris not in midday. So that's one of the other things we were talking about briefly, because it looks like, based on the lighting here, it does feel like it's a bit bright, right? It looks like they've been out all day. Yeah, because now we're an hour, almost 2 hours into the video, and even here was already somewhat bright. So it looks like he was just kind of filming. Can I get back to that moment? Yeah. It looks like he was just kind of filming midday, which is what I would be avoiding. I would almost make it a requirement that I'm not streaming past, I don't know, like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. So I would do the stream from like sunrise, which I don't remember, but it could be like anywhere from 6 to 7 a.m., and then go out for about 2 to 3 hours, come back by 10, and then that way we avoid the extreme heat. And then in the afternoon, we would probably do a safari around like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. until sunset, which might be like 6, 7 p.m.
There. Yeah.
This is crazy, chat. This is insane, bro. Bro, y'all better be ready to get in the car. It's not though. Huh? It's not though.
Okay.
Chat, he's having a mud bath right now.
That's so crazy. Okay. So what other learnings? He's saying, the guy in the car was like saying, hey, we're going to move the car forward so that we have a bit more signal. And then ISO Speed is disagreeing with him, saying like, oh, it's not really being obstructed. So what does that mean?
Now. He's having a mud bath.
But even this resolution is acceptable
Chat, did you know,
to me.
Chat, did you know elephants can't get cancer? Chat, elephants are so nice, bro. I actually love elephants. Right here. Chat, we do a backflip?
Oh, this is what I should do. If I go into the transcript, show transcript. Star.
Why do they do Munda?
The Starlink, guy. The Starlink.
I can't get the info
Yes, you can.
too hot now.
Like that.
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot, so there's no more like go this way, go this way. Right there. Yeah.
You know what? This is what I should have been doing. I should just watch all of his streams and see every time he mentions Starlink.
We have Starlink. I don't want to. Guacamole.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Are we live? Holy guacamole, bro.
Guys, we're in the fucking ocean, whatever, Delta. We should be grateful that we have any.
We have Starlink. I don't want to hear that, bro.
Dude, he's so demanding. Holy shit. That's so funny. We have Starlink. Okay.
Whoa, what the hell was that? All right, chat. I'm not gonna lie, I can't even read chat because my phone is not connected to the internet. So I don't, apparently chat, there's lions. They have a kill and they chilled there for 3 days when they have a kill. I don't know why. Why they don't just take it back to their den? But we're gonna go to their kill. I don't know, bro. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I tried, bro. It is fucking pitch black right now.
You're doing it for the chat, bro.
It's pitch black. You can't see anything. Isn't it?
Yeah, I pointed. Slips, can you get the stars? I don't have my pack died. I just put a battery in. It's turning on. I cannot right now. Copy. I just put a battery in. It's turning on. I cannot right now. Copy.
You see the lion. For the cameraman.
Best shot probably would be. It's just gonna be dark everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
this
true.
shot's pretty good right here.
It's gonna be
The sun. You got the sun on the right side.
bad boy. This tour. That one's gonna be in Kenya. Kenya's gonna be a bit different. I don't know how, in terms of looks, I don't know. I think it's gonna be less grass and less like trees. I think it's more like flat land and desert looking, I think. Yo, can I get more information on the
Kenya safari.
on the Kenya safari? Like, what does it look like? Can I get more details on the Kenya safari? Can I just get, like, in terms of looks, how is it different from this stream? It's what? Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, what you said.
It's more plain. It's more plain and desert.
Okay. I just need more camera troubleshooting moments.
Got an antler. Nothing. Let's just stop at this termite.
Oh, stream is lagging.
Oh, we're stuck? No way.
Mazan says good morning. Good morning to you.
No way we're stuck.
It is evening my time.
No, bro.
Welcome. I was supposed to be doing a video editing stream, but instead I got a bit distracted, but in a good way because I'm getting some good learnings here. So I was watching a bit of iShowSpeed's recent live stream in Africa, because this will mirror a lot of what I'm trying to do as well, where I'm trying to do more like consistent wildlife trips and now showing a live stream while I'm actually capturing the moments. So you guys will basically get legitimate behind the scenes and real-time encounters of those wildlife moments, and then hopefully it turns into proper footage, film that I would be, making after the fact. So it becomes like double content, right? You would be able to enjoy the real-time live stream when we're out to Kenya or Botswana or whatever country. And then once I come home and, we're at home editing, you would actually be able to see me editing the photos and the videos for other cinematic, stories that we'll share on YouTube. So boom, boom. That's like my big goal right now is that is the, if you think of like, what is it as a content creator I'm looking to achieve? That's it. I want to be a full-time live streamer. And I guess, I don't know what the top one would be, but basically I want to be a full-time travel filmmaker where when I'm traveling, you guys can tune in to the travels live. And then when I'm home, you guys can watch me create what you saw live into something cinematic. So yeah, that is the goal right now. Where did this come in? Oh, some things aren't updating. No worries.
Don't tell me we're fucking stuck. Bro. Well, we're tipping. No way, we actually got stuck, bro.
This is why you'll see every safari vehicle, it's always the same. It's a Land Cruiser, the Toyota Land Cruiser something. They're one of like the most reliable apparently. So then they take these old Toyota Land Cruisers, then they chop it all up, and then they add all these parts. They add the railings, these cages, and then it turns into a safari Jeep. But yeah, this is not uncommon to get stuck in this type of situations.
Yeah, get out and get eaten by a lion? Great idea.
See, when I see moments like this, I'm so curious. Like, which camera are they using that we get these moments where it's like super overexposed? And I don't know enough to like understand why that would be the case. Like, I'm trying to think for my use case, would this ever happen? My hope is that it shouldn't, because I'll have the ND filter on at all times. So hopefully we don't run into this kind of a situation. But that is, you know what, that is something I have to figure out, because I don't think, possibly I might be able to control my, let's say if I have a Nikon, let's say I have two cameras hooked up to the roof of the Jeep or like to the railing, and the weather's changed, the clouds kick in or something. Would that mean, and let's say if I have an ND filter and now things are too dark or too bright, how would I be able to change it? Would I be able to change it remotely? Like, I wonder through like SnapBridge, which Nikon has, am I able to then just say like change the aperture or change whatever settings? Or I would have to physically go up to the camera and twist the lens filter or the ND filter. But my goal is to hopefully never touch those cameras once it's up and running. Mindful's asking, is he using a regular camera in manual mode or an electronic variable ND filter? Well, that was the other thing, because I only learned about that recently, right? I forget if it was with you, Mindful, but someone has shown me the Sony FX6. Oh, we were watching a Mati Hapoya video, and apparently with the Sony FX6, it's got like that electronic variable ND filter. I was like, what? That would be an amazing feature. Yeah, if we had that, whew, that's next level. But yeah, let's see if how they fix it. I don't know what I thought the camera that they showed. The thing is, he has multiple cameras, right? So one of the cameras, and it might be the one that usually is fixated on his face, that looked like a Sony FX3 or something, or it looked like one of those proper. It's in a box with all the riggings on it. So it ain't no like small time iPhone concept. This camera, I don't know, because it is like super blown out, and so I don't know how they would allow that for this long.
Keep going, keep pushing. Push again.
Oh yeah. Okay, so they do have it on some kind of auto ISO or something, right? Because we just saw it shift there.
Almost. Keep going. Keep pushing. Push again.
Okay, I don't know. I'm going a bit crazy, but it did feel like either it's on a fixed setting, and then when it pointed it this way, it just kind of got darker because the lighting and everything changed here, or it automatically.
Almost. Keep going. Keep pushing. Push again.
Part of me feels like I feel like I saw something
keep
dim.
Going. Keep pushing. Push again.
It could be in my head though.
Yeah.
Fed says, why are you disrespecting Teppo, Yobel? You never play his videos. Thing is, I don't even follow the guy. Hold on. Actually, you're right. How could I? How dare I do that? Teppo Apoya. Wait, this is him? They look exactly the same, just with the shaved head. Okay, maybe not exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. I can't believe I second guessed myself. I was like, am I being racist somehow? No, these two look exactly the same. End of my Sony era, switching to Nikon. Wait, is it his video that I saw, not Matty? Because I thought I saw Matty's video saying that he was switching to Nikon. But unless Matty also made a similar title, is it Teppo's video that I saw pop up? Yo, Freddy Jail. Thank you very much for the follow over on Kick. Yes, we're slowly building up our Kick army, so I appreciate that. Okay, we are now following him. You said that's brother favoring? Yeah, my bad. How could I do that? I have used the electronic variable NDs on my old FS5M2 setup. Absolutely game changing. Oh yeah, I would love to test out some kind of automatic variable ND filter concept. FX6 is fantastic, but totally not feasible unless you have a massive budget. I would never pay that price with no internal RAW. Okay. That's why I sold my totally rigged out FS5M2. Those NDs are amazing. By the way, you guys reminded me in another example of, I think I have, either I have, what did we say that I have? Either I have ADHD or I just have shit memory. And to be honest, it could just be the latter. I was meaning to tell you guys, one, I bought that cotton carrier, and then two, I just purchased a new lens. I think it's the Viltrox 14mm f4 for Nikon. Yeah, this one. So just FYI, this is a new lens that I purchased because it was fairly cheap, and at least when I was doing my ChatGPT or Gemini or whichever one I used for research, it seemed like this was the better quality. It was either this one or there's like some other brand that starts with an L. Lestra, I don't know. But AI was telling me that the Viltrox is better quality than the other one, whatever it's called. Lestra lens? Lustra? No. Let's see, 14mm Lestra lens. Oh wait, was that the actual name? No. It doesn't matter. There's like another. Oh, Laowa. Was it a Laowa? Maybe it was 14mm f5 or something. Cookie. It was a cookie lens. Laowa cookie lens Nikon. 15mm f5. Okay, this is the one. 15mm f5 cookie lens. FX6 is a beast of a commercial camera. Limited codecs. So yeah, I was basically in between this one, this Laowa 15mm f5 cookie lens, which, okay, the reason I'm purchasing this, I have a film concept in mind, which would tie in nicely with my Pidgeotech backpack. I might have explained it to you guys on stream earlier, but basically I wanted to make a short film. I want to make this short film with the backpack in mind. So I've done like a first impressions video of the Pidgeotech backpack. However, I need to travel the world. I need to really do some field testing with it. So what I was thinking was, what if I made a review of the backpack? I still want to, of course. I still will. But I was like, what if I can make a short film where it's more subtly promoting, let's say, Pidgeotech as a brand or the backpack as a brand, but without feeling like a product commercial. And what I mean is, I thought it'd be cool to make a short film from the perspective of the backpack. So kind of giving it character. I might even give it a voiceover, not my voice, but maybe one of my friends who has a nice speaking voice. But I was thinking, like, what if I make a short film from the perspective of the backpack? So imagine there would be a number of scenes where you see me unzipping the backpack, because it's one of those tall backpacks that stands upright, and it's got the 180-degree zip. So imagine you hear the sound or you see it being unzipped, bag opens up, and I would have positioned the camera inside the backpack, similar to how I did my PG Tech review video, but instead of looking at the sky, it's just looking eye level. And every time you see me open up the bag, you would see the environment changes. So one moment when you see me open up the bag, you see me looking into the camera or inside the backpack, like trying to grab some gear. But behind me, maybe you see the desert, like some sand dunes. And then you see me close up the bag. And then the next time I open up the bag again, next thing you know, I'm in some snowy territory, right? With the sled dogs or whatever. Like you can see it's snowing outside behind me. So you're seeing me basically travel the world. I close up the bag. It transitions next time when I open it. We're in the jungle, right? Like we're in the forest. And so the point is, this becomes like a cool video transition that requires a lot of traveling, but showing constantly how every time we go back to this moment, it's a pattern of seeing, like, we're getting glimpses of the world from the perspective of the backpack itself, at least from the interior shot, right? So that'd be one thing. So that was like a thought I had, was like, oh, okay, could I make a film like that where this way, when I travel the world, I have to consistently make sure I get certain types of shots so that, yeah, it's like a pre-planned, it's something I have got in my mind as a concept. And then it's just up to me to travel the world to some of the coolest locations, such that every time you see a glimpse into that world, it's a nice cinematic landscape or whatever it is, right? So that's an idea of a short film that I want to make. And so I pitched this to Pidgeotech as well. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe they can support the idea. Maybe they can sponsor the video. I don't know. Because it's going to be expensive, because it obviously means I have to go on a number of trips and film this in a number of locations. So anyways, that's my current thought. And then I was thinking, could I flesh it out with a bit more footage? So instead of just only showing videos that come into play every time the bag opens up and closes, because that could also be tiring, or it might be limiting in terms of how much of a story I can tell. I was like, okay, what if I mix in different types of shots? So if the backpack had eyes, you know, if it had eyes that point forward in the same direction as me. So let's say if I'm wearing the backpack and then I position a camera with a super wide angle lens, so it looks like an over the shoulder shot, as if the backpack had its eyes and it was just, you know, it was walking with me and seeing the world. Or flip it around where there's eyes on the back side of the backpack. So then as I'm carrying the backpack and hiking or whatever, there'd be like a fixed camera point of view pointing to whatever's behind me, but just enough of the backpack or even me in the field of view, so it's clear that this feels more like a perspective shot, not like just a clean shot. So that's my current thought. I've been working through like a storyboard and like if there's a voiceover. So if I give a voice to the backpack as well, because here's what the short film is about. It's an homage to our travel companion, the backpack, right? We cannot travel the world. Any photographer, any whatever adventurer, you wouldn't be able to capture what you see, have the experience without your trusty backpack, right? So in some ways, I'm kind of like making it the unsung hero, right? It's a thing that we always have on all of our trips. We can't live without it. We can't explore without it. But it's not insignificant, right? It feels insignificant, or we don't give it the attention or the value that it deserves. So this is like a video that would, in effect, try to make the backpack feel like the main character. So anyways, that was a thought that I had. I'm actually deep into like thinking through this concept. I have a number of trips in line that I should be able to film it. Now, in order for me to film it properly, that's where I was trying to figure out what are the best cameras that I could use. I've got my action cameras, right? So we've got this like Osmo Nano. I've got my other action cameras. I got the Insta 360. So technically with those cameras, I should be able to get some of the shots that I need. However, one of the challenges that I want to place on myself is I want the footage to look as cinematic as possible, right? So if possible, I would love to film everything with the Nikon ZR. And if I do that, then I have to really think through, do I have the right lenses to make some of those wide angle fisheye type perspectives possible in the same way that an action camera can, right? Because with the action camera, I just stick it on, I put it on a selfie stick, and I get the shot, boom. But this feels a bit more of a challenge, and it means that the final footage will look really clean. So I was hoping the lens that I ended up purchasing is this one, the Viltrox 14mm f4 Air full frame lens for the Nikon Z mount. So 112.6 degrees field of view. Yeah, so hopefully the 14mm is wide enough. I don't know how it compares to like action cameras, but this is the lowest one I could find that fits my needs, I think. And it's super compact, so it's only 185 grams. It's got a 58mm filter thread, so I could put an ND filter on this guy. Yeah. So let's see, what does it look like on the camera? Yeah, so it's like super pancakey, roughly speaking. So then if I have this with my ZR, I stick it onto a monopod or I stick it onto a tripod, put it in the side pocket of the backpack or in the front side and strap it on there, and just extend the tripod super long, and then have it pointed slightly in an angle where you'll get slightly a version of me and the world around me. That's my current thought process. So hence why I purchased it. I'm hoping it's gonna look okay. Mr. Conan is in the chat. Conan says, lurking for 2 minutes before the gym. Well, thank you for lurking, my friend. Enjoy the workout as well. That's always important. So. Viltrox lens. So this will be my first third-party lens that I'm purchasing. The issue I had is that as of now, Nikon for the Z lenses doesn't have one of these like ultra-wide angle focal lengths without it being super heavy or big, because I need the most pancake compact version, because yeah, I need it to be the camera's gonna be really close to my body, so I need it to not protrude out too much to get the shot. So yes, we've made that purchase as well. All right, I gotta watch some of the Tepo videos. Conan says, doing legs today, 200 kg, 20 times, one go. All right, man. Yeah. Enjoy. Never forget, bro, never skip leg days, we say.
No, we're not getting through.
Yeah, I'm moving to the front.
Everyone move to the front.
Does that actually help to have everyone move to the front? Because one thing, this is very random, but I've been in many stuck vehicles from my like wildlife travels, and sometimes they would tell you to actually, because in my mind I was like, oh, should everyone get out of the car so that it lightens the vehicle and it should be easier to go? And they actually no, we want more weight on the car. Maybe it's to get more traction on the tires to the ground or something. I don't know. Listen, I don't know.
Sorry, bro.
I think
we're bro.
I land first.
Tom's, look at them.
Oh. This was the line.
Exactly what
Henry, bro, they're fucking Rudy got a double though.
Daryl! Yeah, not in here. Okay.
Yeah, but we might need to light in a minute.
Yeah, I limit yet.
Bro, I need some. Upset. Back that way, cause.
How many hours did they stream? Hold on. 7 hours. Yeah, so okay, there's a few differences here for sure as well. Gotta go bye, says Conan. All right, enjoy your workout. Hold on, let's take a quick cat break. I see my cats here. Look at them chilling over there. Good boy to Kimbap and good girl to Nala. Why does that light look bigger than my cat? Anyways. Okay, so a key distinction here. he's streaming for like 7 hours or however long. Especially just because I'm a one-man show for now, my goal is to limit it to like 2 to 3 hours drive in the morning, come back to the base camp, charge up the cameras, go to sleep, relax throughout the midday when it gets super hot, and then go for another 2 to 3 hour stream. And then when we come back to the lodge, technically I could continue streaming, or I end it, eat dinner, blah blah blah, shower, and then from my lodge, let's say from the tent that I'm staying at, I would have the Starlink set up there as well, and I would do an evening stream, just like a typical, like, you know, not typical, but from a fixed location. And then during that stream, I was thinking I would stream maybe 1 to 2 hours in the evening, where I would spend that time to review the photos. So I would share with you guys, like, here's all the photos I took, here's some of the video footage, just doing a little bit of recap, answering questions. And then we end the stream and we get ready for the next day, because we got to wake up early. Basically every day of the stream, every day of the trip, I'd probably be waking up at like 5 in the morning or so. And we started over. So that's my current itinerary, and it makes sense to me. So it's just a matter of executing on it. So that's another thing I have going for me, where like these, you know, if I Show Speed, he's doing like a super long extended stream, which is good for viewership and all that kind of stuff. But I think for my needs, I would have to take pauses in between. That's just the only way I can do it. Mindful says the Nikon 14 to 30 f4 is also nice. I did see that as an option, but again, the problem just came down to the bulkiness of it. I need the camera with the lens as compact as possible, so that way if I'm wearing the backpack and I have the camera on a monopod or like a tripod extended out, the lens shouldn't go past my face, because I'm trying to get a little bit of my face in the shot, so it feels more like the backpack is alive, and it's like you're literally seeing the point of view through the eyes of the backpack, where it's like, oh, okay, I can see a little bit of the peripheral of Yobel's face and his shoulder, and we're looking, basically I can understand the backpack is peering over the shoulder of me. So in order to do that, if I have too long of a lens, and if it's too heavy, that's like those are two red flags in terms of like this use case. So, but I did see that as an option. I was like, oh, should I get that one? If you have concerns about the Viltrox AF lens lawsuit, oh, I totally forgot. Well, listen, I'm a Nikon creator, but it's not like I can't use other lenses. I don't think I can promote them per se or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Makes sense, yeah.
I say no, 150 meters. 150 meters. I say. So that's around.
Why don't we do a branch of this tall branch right here? See the tall branch over there?
What tall branch?
Like the two that are fucking swinging.
Bro, you're tripping, bro. Just take the with a mom. Bro. Do it, bro. Just follow it. Come, you might fucking die. Don't stop it. Now, go again. Oh, shit, come back. Not the way down. Haul it. See.
Oh,
right.
I need shots of the Jeep.
Yeah. You right.
I guess you can't really see.
Yeah, because of tall grass.
I'm trying to. Anytime I can see what kit they're using.
They always come from like the smallest one. Hey, where to go? Come on, 5 guys. Like.
This is insane, by the way, though. Like, saying how many people he has in his crew, it's so crazy. I mean, it's like, it's really cool, crazy in a cool way. It's like, I would love to have my own travel crew as well. But, that is going to be a bit daunting, as like, you see him running the stream with like a full-on team, right? A team within a team. And here I am trying to do this basically for the most part by myself, right? Or like doing it solo or whatever. So that is going to be a little bit of like well, not even a little bit, that's a big challenge, you know. But if we can do it, then it proves so many other things that we can do, right? Michael says, I mean, if for some reason Viltrox lenses get disabled with the Nikon firmware update, I mean, due to losing the lawsuit. Oh, okay. I guess I didn't think about that. But, I mean, as long as the lawsuit doesn't end anytime soon, and in the meantime, it works okay. Because I'll be trying to film as soon as like next month, right? So I'll do my best to get some shots in. But you're totally right. I totally forgot about that. How does that impact
Where's your batteries?
But the good news is the lens was not that expensive comparatively. I think it was 200 bucks. So it was one of those like, okay, it's a little bit easier for me to stomach if
They
something
said
goes wrong.
it's
All right.
Oh,
Anyways,
but
I think
right.
we've got as much learning from this as we can get today. I was supposed to work on my video, which we've just been sitting on. It is also already past 9 p.m. Hold on one second. Ooh, I have an update from my editor. So, should I end it here? Have you considered a DJI Action 5 or 6 to set up a live stream option for one of those to carry with? I don't know if anyone is doing that. I have not considered the DJI Action. Hold on a second. You bring up a good point. Hey Amber, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, partner. Just like we're sitting around a campfire out on the range. What can I do you for?
I'm curious, as I'm learning and getting into travel IRL live streaming, about the different action cameras that potentially are compatible with live streaming. For example, I know the Osmo Pocket 3 has some kind of capabilities to be connected wirelessly for a live stream camera. I just saw some examples of someone using drones and having the drone somehow be connected back to the live stream as like a separate camera that can be switched to. I'm curious if you can do a bit of research and let me know what other latest and greatest action cameras are out there that can also technically be tied into potential live stream camera. For example, if there's like a DJI Action 6 camera or something else.
Well, partner, here's what's fresh. In 2026, top action cameras for live streaming include the GoPro Hero 13 Black, which does 5.3K video and streams via their app. DJI's Osmo Action 6 also streams through the DJI Mimo app. For immersive shots, the Insta360 X4 offers 8K 360-degree live streaming. If you want a budget backup, something like the Akaso EK7000 Pro can also handle Wi-Fi streaming. Overall, GoPro and DJI are your best bets for quality and versatility. Keep them charged and you'll be ready to hit the trail live.
Hold on, you said the DJI can live stream through their app. What does that mean? Like you said something about the Mimo app, but what if I live stream via OBS? Does that cause an issue?
Well now, the Mimo app is just DJI's way of making it easy to stream from your phone directly. But if you're riding with OBS, no problem. You can take the feed from these cameras into a capture card or use wireless solutions. As long as that camera's feed is recognized by your computer, OBS can wrangle it into the stream just like any other camera source. So,
okay,
you'll
so
be riding.
For example, I have the Osmo Pocket 3 with me right now. Are you saying I can wirelessly connect it to my OBS on my Mac Studio as we speak?
Well, partner, not directly out of the box. The Osmo Pocket 3 is going to stream wirelessly through their app on a mobile device. Now, to get that into OBS on your Mac Studio, you'd need a little bridge, like using screen mirroring or a virtual webcam app. But if you're wired in with a capture device, well, then OBS will handle it like a trusty steed.
But I want to do wireless.
Well, if you want to go full wireless, you'll need some help from a third-party app or tool that can send that mobile feed to your Mac. There's software that lets you cast your phone screen. Then you can grab that screen in OBS. Or you could use something like a wireless HDMI transmitter if you're feeling fancy. Once that signal's on your Mac, OBS will treat it like a regular old camera input.
Tell me more about this Osmo Action 6.
The DJI Osmo Action 6 has a 1.1-inch sensor, a variable aperture from f2 to f4, and records up to 4K at 120 frames per second. It offers stabilization modes, 50 gigabytes of built-in storage, and is waterproof up to 20 meters. It supports live streaming, includes USB-C for external mics, and with a firmware update, even supports 8K video at 30 frames per second. It's a solid option for high-quality and versatile action shooting.
What's the field of view on this guy? And can you tell me like in comparison to a full frame camera, let's say like a 14mm lens?
Well, the Osmo Action 6 gives you about a 155-degree field of view, which is mighty wide. Now, if you compare that to a full frame camera with a 14mm lens, that's also ultra wide. But a 14mm on full frame is about a 114-degree field of view. So the Action 6 is even wider. Gives you that big, sweeping cowboy vista look.
Okay, well, Mindful, you've just given me something to think about here. I'll say it in Amber's voice. You just gave me something to think about here, partner. To be fully auto with great video and everything in focus is ideal for that situation. That is true. Hello, hello. We got Frangie Panny in the chat saying, what we looking at, boss? Well, I was supposed to be doing some work, but we were doing a bit of jumping around. First, I was doing some research into some IRL live streaming. This is something I want to do this year, is hopefully take you guys with me as we go to Africa and Europe, and hopefully you'll see some wildlife safaris in a live stream. So I was just watching some videos here for the research, and then Mindful in the chat was telling me about the DJI Osmo 6, DJI Action 6 camera, and apparently it could be used for live streaming as well, but it could also be used for a film project that I have in mind, where I want to tell a short film story from the perspective of the backpack. So I want to like mimic as if the backpack has eyes, and then it's watching me on all my trips, or it's like you can see the view from the backpack's eyes as I travel all around the world. So I was looking at what kind of wide angle lens would work for that. Hello, we got Cyrones in the chat as well. Mindful says, I just bought the Action 5 fantastic camera, has an HDMI output. Are you talking to AI about comparing cameras? Yes, I am. That's a Southern AI. We got it to do a Norwegian accent at one point. Mindful says, so that other guy is controlling his stream via a cell phone. Is he using the Mimo app? Which guy? Or if you're talking about iShowSpeed, no. He's using like heavy duty cameras. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a Sony FX3 or something. But yes, hello. Cyronia says, hi friends. Oh, very cool. Yes, very cool. Cyronia says, I DM'd you some images just as you went live. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for the support all around. Frangie, are you streaming today? Do you stream every day? Or I'm curious what your schedule is like. Oh my god. Do I really want to spend more money on this Osmo Action thing? Oh, quick update. Because I said this at the beginning of the stream. I still can't necessarily get into it fully right now. But yesterday and today, I did have some good meetings with a few potential projects that are upcoming. And it looks like the project is going through. There's a few action items. It looks like, so if all goes well, I should be able to speak about it more later, but we've got some cool people. We got like professionals, like proper filmmaking professionals in professional environments, professionals, right? They stumbled upon my channel just through happenstance, whatever, and they are interested in working with me, which is awesome. I'm very, very flattered. So anyways, we had a good conversation, and hopefully I will be able to do some cool film projects soon. Still a lot of TBD stuff, but if this works out, this is exactly one of those steps that I was hoping to achieve, especially this year, is like, okay, we've gotten a little taste of this like filmmaking world and all the different roles that are a part of it, and how you pitch it, how you do it, how do you make it, all that. So my goal this year was definitely like, how can I treat myself like a professional filmmaker, like view myself that way, and also how do I get involved in these types of projects. So if this works out, and when I can share with you guys more about it, you guys will be so excited with me. I promise you that. It's some cool stuff. But there's a lot of question marks still. All right, so I am kind of, knock on wood, I'm probably jinxing myself. Frangipani says, undecided. I do stream every day. I just don't feel like yapping, but maybe some coffee and I'll fire up the OBS. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I feel ya. I feel ya. I was just looking into it. Apparently you can stream the RTMP link from the DJI Mimo app directly to OBS via a local server host like Mana Server. Essentially streams the feed to OBS. Okay. And Frangie says, we're so excited about it for you. Well, thank you very much, partner. Oh, that wasn't my best. That wasn't a good Southern accent. My bad. My apologies. Cyronius had sent me something. Oh, damn. Wait. Ah. What is it that you're sending me? Is this like the fans? Hold on a second. Is this like one of those filters or the air filter or like a ventilation thing? Saroni says Mana server is decent, but if you got a Bella box, you'll be able to use RTMP into the orange file. Oh, so would the Bella box then allow me to plug in like these action cameras or even a drone? These are some custom fan housings I made for my bag. Oh, nice, man. Excuse me. I just heard back from this 3D printing company in Dubai, because basically I gave them the whole specs of like what I'm trying to build, and they came back to me with a price, but the price is damn expensive. A little bit more than I actually expected it to be. So I kind of pushed back. We'll see if they're able to drop the costing. So yeah, but like, yeah, this would be, man, the fact that you can do this, so impressive, man. Cyronius, shout out to you. You are a proper builder. Yo, thank you very much. Official Gambling Academy. With a name like that, I wonder, but thank you for the follow on Kick. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I forgot to stream on TikTok today, but we'll do it again next time. Okay, so this is a custom fan you built. I wish I knew how to do all this, man. But yeah, the 3D printing company, what did I say? Builder? You're a maker. Okay. Maker? Hardly know her. That's some good stuff, man. Yeah, I need stuff like this. But yeah, anyways, this company, at least they're sending me the quote. They said they'll basically design it. Yeah, it's essentially the same designs as what I showed before, like the OC GoStream or the BSS RoadStream case, just with a few slight adjustments. So, and then I still need to hear back. Frangie says, do you find reading 3 chats difficult while working? I've had a lot of people ask for me to do TikTok and I'm nervous. TikTok, that one has been a challenge, but I'm using, within OBS, it has one of those, I'm using Atom, AITUM, and then it's got that multi-chat integration. So I'm able to see Twitch, YouTube, and Kick all together in like a single visual. So that helps. But TikTok, I don't have linked up yet because I think I have to stream on TikTok. So for TikTok, I think you need to stream for at least, there's some kind of a duration. Maybe it's like 180 days or something. And only after that do you potentially qualify to get like an actual stream key, which then I should be able to loop into OBS. And then I hope that would mean the chat would also show up there. But for now, I have to use the TikTok Live Studio, which is like a separate software. So I have to stream from there plus OBS. And that means I have to technically monitor the TikTok chat at the same time, if that makes sense. But I haven't tested too much with TikTok just yet. The problem with TikTok is that you get banned. Banned is a strong word. They keep timing me out almost every stream. They time me out because of something I'm doing that's against the system. But they don't tell you what it is, and when you appeal it, you get denied right away. So, and it basically times you out for like 15 minutes where they don't promote your channel. It like shadow bans you essentially. But I don't know if you run into it too many times, if you get like permanently banned or not. I don't know. That definitely makes it easier. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Shout out to Cyronius. And then, yeah, Cyronius, I will keep bugging you off stream. Right now, because I'm still doing some outreach to see if like I might, maybe, this is like maybe a 20% likelihood, but maybe I can be put in touch with someone who works for LiveView. And I don't know if that means maybe I can get a good price on a LiveView kit. But regardless, I mean, we're talking, obviously that's still like multi-thousands of dollars, versus the Bella box seems to be way more within a good price range. So, but yeah. So anyways, we'll see if I have a few projects. It does mean that the month of March and April, I might be traveling back to back. It literally might be 5 different projects and 5 different trips back to back, with maybe 1 or 2 days in between. Or it seems like it might be a situation where I literally, as I end one project from that country, I would fly directly to the country for the next project and never go home. So it's going to be a little bit exhausting, but I'm not complaining. If all of these projects pan out, wallahi, or whatever they say. Like I said, if you want me to build you a kit, says Cyronius, it doesn't have to be $1 billion. Okay. Yeah, let's chat about it offline, whenever you got some time. But yeah, I think if you can let me know, I think you mentioned like with that Raspberry Pi, it sounds like basically you need that Raspberry Pi, some kind of casing for it, and then you need this router or the modem thingamabob. And then I just got to figure out how it fits, because then my goal is that would have to fit into a backpack, or similar to what you had designed or what you had, Cyronius. I think you had one of those Velcro backings, or what, I don't know what you call those things, but like you can attach a bunch of things onto it, like a flat panel, and then that I can insert into a backpack to keep it protected. Plus inside there, maybe I need to attach some portable batteries, some power bank, like some power banks and whatever else. But yeah, please let me know. Because I still don't know for a fact if I will be traveling to Norway in the beginning of March. If I do, I would be traveling on the 4th or probably the 4th of March. I think I would be flying out either 4th evening or 5th morning, arrive in Norway, Oslo, and then from Oslo fly to Alta on the 5th. So then I can catch the opening of the sled race on the 6th, hang out at the dog farm, and then on the 9th, I think I would be going with the owner, and we would do like a 3 to 5 day sled dog expedition across Norway. And so then there, I would hopefully film everything properly. Hopefully I can test out the live stream. So if I'm able to get all the moving parts together in the next 2 weeks, then I would try to test out live streaming from Norway with the Northern Lights and all of that. We got Beatty in the chat. Beatty says, "Good day, people. Hope you're all well." All is well. Thank you very much. Oh, Beatty, maybe I can ask you a question. Hold on. If you plan on getting an action camera for streaming with, the Action 4 is more desirable than the 6. How is that possible? You're telling me the older model is better than the latest model? Osmo Action 4. I don't care about the waterproofing. Listen, I'm going to be real with you. I'm a sucker for buying the latest thing. Don't tell my bank account that, but it has better low light. There were issues with the Action 5 performance with wireless transmission. Same thing with the 6. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not like jumping the gun on this just yet. It was just a potential concept. I have my Osmo Pocket 3, which I was thinking I could also hook up to the sled. And then I've got my own, obviously my ZR, and I was thinking I would attach the ZR to a clamp and then one of those articulating arms So then the arm that was told to me was the Noga arm. So if I buy one of these Noga arms, and then I have to find the clamp that goes with it. Hopefully that should be strong enough. So then on the sled rail, you can imagine you got the sled rail, or I'm holding onto the handle, and then maybe in the center we get that heavy clamp. Then we have this articulating arm, and from the top of it I would hook up the Nikon ZR with like a wide angle lens, and then that way as the sled's moving, the camera will just get that, you know, eye level point of view style shot in good quality. And then if I'm able to figure out the live streaming, then I need to somehow have the Starlink hooked up in the sled, plus the case with the Rodecaster, probably a wireless transmitter on the camera and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really ambitious. Realistically, I should just test with like an Osmo Pocket 3 or one of these action cameras if it connects wirelessly, and just show it that way. But yeah, ideally I want to show the best quality, you know? I want to show the best camera quality. So all right. But BD, thanks for being here. I was actually planning on turning down the stream a bit. It's around 9:30. I mentioned I have a editor that I've been working with for the past few projects, and it seems like we have a good working relationship. Hopefully I'll continue with him. He did send me a new version of one of the next videos I'm working on. So I do want to spend some time before it gets too late to review it. And then also I have a number of other videos I need to start working through. Because if I end up traveling for most of March and April, I need to film as much of the content as I can so that I can have them publishing throughout the next months, if that makes sense. So I think this is probably a good place for me to wind down. Look at my cats. So let's say goodbye to my cats real quick, or say hello. Look at Kimpop over there. Looking good, looking good. And for those of you on Twitch, thank you, by the way, for watching the stream. It's really cool that you guys find it enjoyable. If you guys don't mind, I want to see if there's someone streaming that we can support. Oh shoot, unfortunately, looks like, oh no, one of them, because there's a few that are French streamers. One second. Mindful says, if you want to save over $100, the 5 is a better option. While the 6 has faster aperture, it is only f2 with fixed ISO range. You're limited unless you go to a variable. The range is the same as the 5. Okay. I'm going to keep all that in mind. Part of me thinks I should be frugal. I'm making a bit too many purchases right now for a bit of like vanity projects, or it's not guaranteed projects. So I probably shouldn't even entertain buying another action camera when I've already got this Osmo, you know, this very, very capable thing, which I still haven't even tested yet, right? Yeah. Okay, well, listen, thank you guys. I think this is where we'll end the stream today. So I will be back tomorrow, same time, maybe a little bit earlier. We'll see. But I appreciate all the learnings today. Wow, we learned so much, right? Didn't we? I'm sure we did. GAS, what is gas? LOL. Frenchie saying getting off. Yes, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but it is almost 9:30. I have some work I have to get done with off stream, some reviewing some videos and all that kind of fun stuff. Frenchie, are you gonna go live? If you're going live, can I at least raid you from here to there, or? But I am planning to go drop off like in the next 1 minute. Mindful says, good luck, man. Great to see you work through this. Have a good rest. Thank you, man. Yeah, you know, this is why I stream. It's part of it is I want to share with you guys as I'm learning. Hopefully we can learn together. That'd be the best case scenario. And I want to be, you know, I hope you guys are enjoying hearing me talk about my ambitions, and hopefully you know, we'll actually do it, you know. So the execution is the key thing, right? So hopefully you guys will, let's fast forward 3 months from now, 6 months from now, end of the year. Hopefully you guys continue to be a part of the community, watching the streams, and imagine the world where a year from now, all these things that I'm sharing with you as I'm learning, figuring out what works, what doesn't, and we figure it out because of all these day-by-day questioning, and we become a proper wildlife IRL streaming, something crazy, right? This new thing out there. Hopefully you guys will feel like you were part of that journey, because you were definitely a part of it. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys. Rachel says gear acquisition syndrome. That's a real thing. Gas. Well, I'm gassed up, unfortunately, not in a good way. So thank you guys. I'm learning new words, new acronyms. Frangie said I will not be on in the next minute, but I appreciate it. Well, no worries. I'm sure I'll catch you on another time and day. So thank you for hopping onto my stream. I appreciate it. Usually I feel like my timings are probably different from everyone's stateside. So it's cool to see you guys hop in at times. All right. Well, that's all I got. Cheers, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.